everybody? How's it going? Happy Saturday. I'm Malik. And guys, it is Twitch Day here at the Overwatch League. We got folks here at the Blizzard Arena already throwing on their purple Twitch t-shirts, as you can see, all to celebrate the All Access Pass. Now guys, we have a great day of matches coming up today, starting off with a rematch of a Stage 2 playoff bout between the Philadelphia Fusion and the London Spitfire. We got that and a lot of other craziness going on today. Now, we got a chance to sit down and talk to both teams and get a bit of a measure on how they felt about that Stage 2 playoff bout and how they're feeling about this matchup today. Check it out.
Philly, the biggest surprise of Stage 2.
This London squad, Stage 1 champions, looking for the repeat.
Oh, double kill with the pulse bomb.
That's going to be it, Philly.
Philly will take it.
Going against London, I think it's going to be like a revenge match for them, I suppose, from the Stage 2 semifinals.
저번에 필라델피아한테 져가지고 타이틀 매치 결승을 못 가는데 이번에 다시 만나게 된다면 꼭 복수하고.
Spitfire undefeated coming in on Hanamura and Route 66. The Fusion will take both of those. Absolutely crazy.
Gesture and Prophet in general is like a really scary duo.
Oh boy, that's a big earth shatter for Gesture.
When they are playing their best, they are like really good.
They like flank a lot and pressure really hard, right?
Philadelphia not ready for the level of aggression that London brings.
프레기 선수는 이제 제가 느끼는 걸로는 라인하르트를 이제 한국 아닌 다른 국가 선수들 중에 제일 잘하는 정도의 급의 선수로 알고 있고.
Oh, we're going pure fraggy right now.
Beautiful charge.
필라델피아에서 넵튠 선수는 딱히 생각 안 해도 되는 선수인 것 같아요.
Oh, the charge.
He doesn't have like weaknesses at all, but we can like pressure him and try to like shut him down.
Off it, looking to hit a big graviton surge. Oh man.
We shut him down, and the rest of the team don't do anything about it, then we're gonna win.
Profit down.
That is a massive win for Philadelphia.
I hope it goes the same way as in the semifinals of Stage 2.
필라델피아 선수는 옛날 기억나게 4대0으로 이기도록 하겠습니다.
This match has been way more hype than I think anyone was expecting.
Blizzard Arena, make some noise. It's Twitch Day. It's Saturday, and we've got an epic rematch coming your way. London versus Philly going round 4. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett here on the desk. I brought in my favorite art school student, Bren, as well as Mr. Captain Pepto-Bismol. Crumbs on the end wearing a young girl's bed sheet.
Real men wear pink, Bucket.
And polka
I've been
dots.
wearing this since I was 12 years old.
That's true.
With the seashell collars.
This is also my side job, actually. On the side, I'm also a barista. That's my main job, along with half the population of LA. So,
well, you're not making any money off of your prediction, so it's good you're making it somewhere else. Let's take a look at our schedule for the day. A little bit later, we got our #1 seeded team overall, the New York XL, taking on Houston. Boston, the team that beat New York, also playing against the Mayhem. But we're starting it up with the big one, Crumbs.
Yeah, we absolutely are. It's a rematch of our Stage 2 semifinals. How can it get any bigger than this?
Now, we've seen these teams fight 3 times. We've seen it in Stage 1, we've seen it in Stage 2. Now London Spitfire and the Philadelphia Fusion are coming in off of that rematch from the Stage 2 finals. And I feel like this is the first time we really got a chance to see Philly get the best of London.
yeah, and I mean, these guys, as we said before, have battled it out many times, but it's only most recently in that Stage 2 title match where Philadelphia came out on top. And I mean, for me personally, I feel like the reason they won was a big part to EQO, right? It was the first time that Philadelphia ran him against London. The other 2 times they played, they were running Shadowburn alongside it. EQO provided a lot of stability in that roster, right? The way they played the game across the board. So I'm a big fan of that introduction to them. You can definitely see how it's revitalized his team in a lot of ways and provided that necessary DPS duo that was missing for quite some time.
And I love this hog. If you guys remember his hog back on Kingsborough, we got different maps this time around. But Crumbs, could you see this series going to a Game 5 again?
Oh, absolutely. You got to remember that the first 2 times it was a bit of a stomp, those 2 4-0s. However, on this last one, it happened to be a lot closer, especially because the DPS of the London Spitfire did not have the greatest game. They really did not play up to the expectations that we had for them, and Philadelphia played a bit differently than what they expected and immediately just took the game by storm. So I think that this one if both teams come back to it again in that mindset, okay, what happened last time, we are definitely going to be seeing at least a Game 5.
Now, of course, EQO is filling in for Philadelphia, and we saw Snillo in that lineup as well for the Fusion. On the other side, London has always had one of the best rosters in the league. Let's take a look at some of their players they have available coming into today. Who's your starting six, Crumbs? If you're the manager of the team, who do you want to play against this Fusion
Well,
squad?
they're starting exactly who is the top 6 right here. This is essentially your main lineup. These are the guys that we expect to be when the big games come around. And so it's a good sign of respect that they're feeling these guys coming into the first match against Philly.
Looking forward to seeing what the DPS combo of Prophet and Birdring can do against whoever the Fusion decides to field. Breg, let's talk about maps, though. It's the new stage. That means we've got some new levels coming in, new maps to be played on. How do the teams match up?
Yeah, so across the board, I mean, you look at these stats, right, at a glance, and you're immediately going to be given the advantage, you know, kind of 50-50, I suppose, to both Philadelphia and London, but Philly take it in the best-of-5 situation. But one thing to note here is Temple of Anubis, this first map. Philadelphia actually haven't played this in Stage 1, so this is a bit, you know, inaccurate to a degree. London have played this recently. They lost both times against Houston and New York, but that just gives them a little bit more tape to work with, a little bit more games that they can fix the mistakes. And, you know, I think there's no better way to do that than playing against possibly the strongest team in the league, NYXL, right? You can easily spot where your weaknesses are because NY are going to exploit you in that regard. So I feel like looking at these stats, it's going to be a complete toss-up as to who's going to win realistically.
Crumbs, how do you see this one playing out looking at the maps?
I am expecting that Game 5 because the Oasis map is so skewed towards Philadelphia's side, and it's been a very negative map for London Spitfire. I do think that Philadelphia would walk out away with a win in 5 maps. However, because it's so close and the data for these teams isn't there, and we haven't even seen EQO, it's really tough to say how the first 4 are going to go.
If it goes to a Game 5, we know Philadelphia has the best record in the league, 77% map win rate when it goes the distance. On the other side, just 33% for London, so they're going to hope to finish it before that Game 5. Are you guys ready to get the day started? Make some noise, Blizzard Arena. It's time to bring out our teams, starting with the squad from London. Let's hear it for the Spitfire. Our starting 6 today going to feature Badojin and Nuss. And Badojin, I love this guy because he's the trash talker here. He's the confident one. He doesn't care about who's on the other side of the stage. He's always coming to bring his A game.
So I love this from London, to be honest. This squad of players that they're running, this is the one they always run for Anubis. And it's one that they have been practicing. Again, I mentioned it before, they haven't had the best results recently. However, they can improve upon it. And the fact that they're still coming in with this so-called A squad, I mean, I would call this the A squad side of London. Personally, I think it's high hopes, to be honest. London, I feel like, are going to be coming into this game completely prepared for Philadelphia.
I think that they're just seeking vengeance here. If you take a look at their trajectory after the finals, they went back, took a break, came back, take 2 losses that are pretty rough, and now they have to go up against Philadelphia. I think that the team is going to be just aching to get that win back, as Prophet was mentioning. Remember, they've only 4-0'd them except for the match that mattered the most.
There's a look at Birdring. Make some noise if you like this DPS hero. He can play them all in the game. The starting 6 juggernauts here for the Spitfire. Not the best start they wanted in Stage 3. Today is where they can right the ship. Let's take a look, though, at the squad on the right side of the stage. Please give it up for the Philadelphia Fusion. Honestly, this squad is probably the biggest surprise outside of Boston. If you look at all the teams coming into the Overwatch League, they only get better. Today, they come in with a record of 15-8. They're in the top 4, and they're looking to secure their spot as a top-tier team in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are climbing the rankings. They had a bit of a shaky start at the start of the season, but now we're getting into the thick of it, and they have some of their best players, right? They're fielding a cemented roster of players, and they're not really swapping out too often. They're really changing up the DPS, and that's pretty much the only thing they are changing up. And I feel like they found something that works, right? And that's pretty much key to getting consistent victories, is sticking with a consistent squad of players, maybe 4 players that you know are always going to perform, and then you make minor adjustments by swapping out maybe the DPS player like Snillo, maybe EQO, maybe Shadowburn in some of the game.
Crumbs are coming off a huge win over the Houston Outlaws. That one went the distance, a Game 5 where Philadelphia clutched up once again. Who impressed you most in that series?
Well, the fact that their coaching staff was able to cycle out Snillo and Shadowburn effectively is what I really like liked about that series, because now when you look at this squad, you took some time off of EQO and they were able to take down London last time, mixing in players, so they should be even deadlier now that they were forced to practice on some of their not necessarily starting players.
Billy was already looking good, but now EQO is back off the suspension. He is alongside Carpe today. Make some noise. We got all 12 players on the stage. The match is ready. Let's get it started as we send it to our casters. It's Semler with Hex.
Thank you, Pocket. It is Saturday, it's Twitch Day, and we are getting off with a barn burner here, right out the gates. Hex, it's gonna be Spitfire versus Philly, and that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, also the desk being kind of spicy today, maybe a little Twitch,
I like the barista.
Twitch chat. Yeah,
I like the barista
absolutely
out there, yeah.
good.
You know, I just think that, you know, Brandon and I, we just got better taste in shirts. Pocket, you gotta step your game up.
I agree with Puckett.
Just throwing it out there.
That's all I'm saying. I agree with Puckett in this situation. This is going to be a great match. There's a kind of a prevailing notion that maybe the reason Philadelphia was able to beat London in the stage playoffs is that London was expecting to play New York. It kind of looked past them. And we'll see if that ends up being the case. But you saw in the bump video that London is looking for vengeance here, fielding that A-team roster. The map pool definitely favors London in this situation. They've got a better record on every single map in our pool. Sans Blizzard World, but the data's incomplete on that one. So.
Yes. My main concern here is whether or not London are going to be able to get over this mental struggle that they have, because when we saw them play against New York earlier, they definitely looked shaky. They've lost against Philadelphia Fusion. This is going to be the A roster for Philadelphia Fusion as well. I'm going to be looking at guys like Prophet, like Fury, very emotional players. Are they going to be able to keep their head in the game here and get the job done now that they've been able to prepare for Philadelphia Fusion? They can't let their heads get to them, Hex.
Yeah, London is still prone to some sloppy play here and there. I mean, we saw some sloppy play out of Seoul yesterday. The team that has it most together in the league is the team on top of the rankings, which would be the NYXL. But I think London has a very good chance to avenge their loss here today. But it is a different Philly roster. EQO back in the mix, so anything can happen here. I don't necessarily know if we'll be going to map 5 because, like I said, the map pool favors London in this situation. But they've had some struggles here on Anubis as well. On their offense, they've tried to run a Sombra to come in on this offense, and even when they get first point, they make a lot of switches going into second point, which kind of wrecks their economy.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, this is going to be action. We're straight into it. No time wasted. Philadelphia Fusion on the defense, London Spitfire on the offense. And now it's going to be a matter of whether or not London Spitfire can break that fused defensive core of Philadelphia Fusion, as they already have the Widow up on the high ground.
Yeah, Widow on the high ground really committing a lot to this. This is the high horse where you put the Orisa all the way on the high ground here. And the best way to crack this is pure dive, and that is what London's running. The biggest question is, how are the supports going to get there? Nuss is going to have to dive with them if they so choose, because Badochin is on a Lucio of all things.
Oh, what a shot! Okay, then wasn't quite sure if Carpe spotted him there in the corner, but Birdring not going to escape with his life, and Gesture's been assassinated by Fraggy as well. This is going to be the reset now coming here for London Spitfire. And of course, Carpe, he's looking to get that stagger kill. Not quite going to find it.
Trying to get these late shots here. They are going back to the spawn because Prophet's lurking all the way back there. Here's that amazing headshot. One shot, two shots. Third time's a charm. Yep, there it is.
Nah, Carpe, man, definitely one of the front runners. What a beast.
It's so good. It's just such a difficult defense to crack, and already taking so much damage on the entry is Gesture. Prophet still lurking back there, but they know he's there, and now they're going to know exactly where he is. His infrasight is popped.
Woo! Spicy reflect there. Carpe dropping low. Point blank, but Prophet looking to join up with the rest of his team, and it's going to be Carpe now looking for the body shot here. Not quite going to be able to find Neptuno fast enough. Not Neptuno, what's he doing?
Big tire coming out from EQO. Does not find anything. Meanwhile, Prophet has cut up the back line. Neptuno and Boombox both fall.
There we go. It is going to be London Spitfire. I've been noticing that, actually, Hex, where you start mixing up the, you know, it's just like, oh, there's a Mercy there. And then it's 50-50 gamble which Mercy you're saying.
Exactly.
Oh, like, I don't know. Either it's Nuss or it's Neptuno. They both start with Eds. Ah, there we go.
Big Blade comes in over top. While that tire was being channeled too, they got to the channeling Junkrat there, able to crack it. Perhaps Carpe a bit too aggressive, giving up his high ground there, going to the low ground. That's when all of that happened, because they didn't have to really worry about the Widow, forcing him off of that top ground. And now that's where you try to snowball this, and a preemptive Valkyrie out of Neptuno.
Yeah, there we go. Was waiting for that. Birdring just going to dunk that pulse bomb in. Unfortunately, gets eaten by the D-Matrix. Poco, Johnny on the spot there to keep it alive. And, well, Gesture's very much dead now as he tries to make it back to the pack. Team is getting staggered out here from London Spitfire, and again, it's looking like they're going to have to back off and give ground.
It's always such an important first defense after you transition from the Orisa onto other compositions here, because you're waiting to build up those ultimates and you don't want to have to give up that snowball early on. Fortunately for them, Prophet had used the blade to take first, so that's not going to be available for them for a little bit. One of the best closeout ultimates on Anubis, getting a giant dragon blade into the corner where the supports like to hang.
Yeah, hands down. Boombox has got his trance online to counter it though, so Prophet, he can definitely get that blade fairly quickly. Just be keeping an eye on that. Now one thing to watch is at the 60% already and climbing. EQO just backing off, point blank grenades. Exactly what he wants to get done there. The tire as well, just looking to dunk him. Trying to dodge, gonna get the T-Mech on Fury, but Fury was already chucking out the self-destruct. He's gonna get a fresh mech, no problem, and Boombox decides now's the time to get the trance out there to keep his teammates alive, and that is a stick! Huge stick coming in for Carpe. You know that Prophet was ready to go in there with the blade.
A perfect time for a transcendence there by Boombox to make sure that his team stayed alive, and even if that had gone poorly, Neptuno would have been able to get his Valkyrie during that. Boombox is really coming to his own, I believe, in the last several matches we've seen. We know how good he can be, but his damage output has been much higher the last few times. Now London has banked up ultimates of their own. They do have the blade and the bomb ready. They can preemptively Valk into here. It's a little bit odd that they're running Bedoshin on Zenyatta. The last couple of times to take Anubis last, they really relied on sound barrier initiations. Not going to be available.
That quick movement as well that Lucio provides, always a benefit. Prophet right now, he's getting tased. Braggy knows who he wants to be paying attention to in this next fight. Prophet just hunting right now for those squishy targets in the back line. Already closing in on him. Yep, sure enough, there it is. Boombox, certainly not long for this world. He gets chopped in half. Not going to be able to get the follow-up, though. Can potentially get the D-Mech on Poco, and yes, he will succeed in that at least.
Yeah, just not enough kills happening right there, and those couple of blade kills are not going to matter at all. Although maybe they can stay in this now with these dashes. The resets are real.
You know, never question Prophet, basically. I mean, the man is definitely turned up. That's going to be one tick picked up here for London Spitfire. And Prophet, man, he's just on a tear right now. Kind of pointed him out as being one of the potential vulnerable spots here for London Spitfire going into this match, but he's already hit the ground running.
Someone just make him waste a dash where he doesn't get a reset. That was a crazy amount of resets all the way through. They will grab the second tick because of it.
Nice. Well, the self-destruct, that's going to throw him out. EQO, just some grenades lobbed over the corner. Unfortunately, Bird Ring stops one with his body, and he's going to go up. EQO deciding to end this fight with the Rip Tire.
We'll find Prophet on the bottom, and that does end the fight as you foretold. But Prophet does have another blade ready as he dashed through so many people there. 2 ticks on the board, 76% is where they got. We'll revert to 66. Philadelphia, not a whole lot to work with on the defense because of that late tire. Perhaps unnecessary, but you definitely want to close out those fights. A fight they probably thought was over early on until Prophet's shenanigans brought it back to life.
Eyes on Boombox, usual spot here for the Zenyatta back left. He's got EQO there to watch his back as well. Well, quick volley in, he's got the trance, so when Prophet decides to get the blade out, it's going to be a game of whether or not they can force this trance London Spitfire as Doshin is going to decide to get his in there. There's the trance coming in from Boombox. Now, all eyes on Prophet as he could have a fiesta. Although it's looking like they are going to be backing off. He is the high priority target. Right now, Philadelphia Fusion doing a great job of keeping the pressure up on him.
That could have been a fiesta, but that party is canceled. Carpe goes for the bomb in the back lines, though. Meanwhile, Fraggy has fallen on the point. London's trying to keep this one alive. They did sound barrier initiate there. It's Nuss on the Lucio this time around. They want to keep this alive long enough for Prophet to get back in the mix with the blade.
Oh, that's big. Doshin finds the kill on EQ. I think there was also the stick coming in from Birdring. Carpe will be the one to turn it around here. Doshin out of the picture. We did get EQO rezzed up as well, and so the fight continues. Now we do have Prophet in, but he doesn't get anything out of the blade. Great positioning from Boombox, and Neptuno pocketing him, keeps him alive.
EQ has been a problem for Prophet, and Prophet lost the blade during that. He popped it and then got absolutely shut down by the Junkrat play. And they just use a lot to get in there. Bedoshin will have Transcend, but that's about it going forward.
That is the key to the setup, isn't it, though? You know, Boombox, Neptuno, EQO, they've just split the team in half. You have those three who are in the back corner. EQO is the babysitter. He's making sure he can tuck them in nicely. A couple of hand grenades there as a trap for Prophet. And then you've got the others kind of working together, looking to find picks. To stagger things, as Doshin's going to use the trance to open things up here. He's leading the way. Nuss working up towards that sound barrier. EQO decides now's the time to get a tire in here. Can he get it across? Not quite. He doesn't even find the kill on Gesture, but Carpe's there to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen that scene before where they all back up almost into spawn and wait for the tire to come through. Poco is going to get himself a new mech and will buy some time on the point, make sure everyone is zoned out. And with both supports down for London, it is time to go back to the drawing board. London has not switched their composition, something that they've done a lot. I think it was smart to do, but now it's almost too late. You don't want to switch comps now to reset. They will have Sound Barrier. That is how they won this map before. Initiate with Barrier, get it during the fight. Maybe Bedosian hits a couple of shots, and you can transcend on the point as well. But I'd be really surprised if you don't see Nuss use this right outside the door, get everyone healthy, get on point, start the brawl.
They need to get in here quick, though. 10 seconds left. Gesture deciding to go right through the front door. Nuss, Sound Barrier, once again decide to get it. His team are getting split up. Does he hit everybody? Yes, barely. Birdring is going to be on the flank, so he won't get that bonus HP, but he is getting pummeled, and Birdring trying to make the play.
He could have used that bonus HP.
And now it's going to be Prophet straight into the back. Will find the one kill on Boombox. EQO, the babysitter's out of it as well, and Prophet looking for the D-Mac on Poco. High value target there. That would be big for London Spitfire to find the kill on him, as Fraggy's just busy punching people in the face.
Yeah, fear the beard, as the sign so eloquently says. Prophet trapped, Prophet down. And even though they get a last-second self-destruct, this is a bad situation for London to be in.
Yeah, Fraggy was pretty much dead to begin with. Gesture now barely hanging on by a thread. Dangerously low, and Carpe, again, the focus fire coming in from Carpe. Every time somebody's low, Carpe just happens to be there. And that will be Philadelphia Fusion holding on the B point.
Nice chase down there, and even though they got the Sound Barrier, which hit almost everybody, Birdring could have used that extra HP there to go into the corner. It just seemed like Philly knew every time where they were coming in. They were definitely coming into that corner. You have to wonder if at a certain point you don't try to slow push the left side. Previously, London has walked in here with a Reaper, and we'll see exactly how EQO was able to shut down. I was told it's a 2K. It could have been any multitude of plays.
Yeah, right. EQO, he's done an excellent job just cranking out deep. So there we go. That's the one and the two. Pretty much snuffs it at the end. And really, Carpe, it's between Carpe and Fraggy, right? You know, the comms there, Carpe is always Johnny on the spot. He's got 12 final blows, and I bet you half of those are just guys who, they think they're getting away with 100 HP. No, Carpe's there. He ends it, and they keep moving on there, Philly.
And you have to wonder the mentality of Gesture they're going forward, because the first couple of dives, even on first point.
Hey, Fred.
Looking good, boys.
Looking good. Sharp, Fred. Don't let Puckett give you no smack on that. Great shirt.
I don't know. I'm just messing with Bren because I know he's not confident in the shirt. Getting in his head.
Nah, man, you just gotta own it. You just gotta own it, no matter what.
I mean, the burn.
Apart from Johnny's shirt, there's no owning that shirt. Sorry, Johnny.
No one should own that shirt. You're correct. But okay, so back to Gesture. He died first very early a couple of times on the first engagements on first and then also on second. And you saw him be a little more tentative trying to dive towards that back line because he was getting discorded and shot down so quickly. He was down to like 100 HP, has to back out several times. And without that consistent pressure on the clump of players that were back there for Philadelphia, it gets very difficult to get those dash resets to get the kind of kills that you need.
Man, well, there you go. Carpe with the focus fire. Just getting in on Fury, on Gesture, on Prophet. Basically, annihilate the tank line. Don't let London have any big, beefy targets there to soak up the deeps. And then, of course, Prophet is always going to be the focus target. You get rid of him, you're getting rid of a lot of DPS for London Spitfire. Birdring having a bit of a quiet game so far.
Yeah, beyond that, Carpe only died twice that entire half. Well, make that 3. Sorry, Carpe, that's my fault.
You cursed him, Hex. I thought we'd gone over this. Artosis doesn't have anything on you.
That's a stretch.
Nobody measures up Artosis, you're right. All right, well, it is going to be 3 minutes and a half here for Philadelphia Fusion, and they've decided to change up the strategy here. Carpe, realizing that there's no Orisa in play, no shield there for Birdring to take advantage of. Looks like he wants to try and take this fight straight up.
Ooh. Fraggy peeking out a little bit too far. Will take a headshot, gets healed up, and will leap in. Now, what London's doing is they're all over the place. They're very spread out right now. There's not really a big clump of players, so where is your dive target here? It makes Fraggy's life that much harder. Where do I really choose to go in with EQO? They might just be waiting for an opening pick. Birdring very low, does find his supports for help.
So careful with the sight lines as well, Birdring. I love it. But that's not going to save him. Carpe pulls a fast one on him. They trade spots. Not going to let him get out. 2-man advantage now here for Philadelphia Fusion, pushing in on the attack. They should definitely be in a situation now where they can pick up this point as Prophet gets a shirk into the face. The dash through from EQO. Monstrous damage getting dealt to these tanks, and London Spitfire getting overwhelmed.
That opening headshot was beautiful, and I can't even really blame the Widow for going for that. You saw two supports, they're healing each other. You think you got the sight lines and Carpe's waiting, they're camping. A bait, even if it wasn't intentional, worked out perfectly for them. They get that opening kill, then they can deal with everyone else who's not a Widow. Oh, they've got a lot to work with here. Both support ultimates. Now they've got Impresight. There is no Transcendence available, not even close to it anyway for Badoshin. And they are going to preemptively Valk onto this point, already putting some pressure on the Resurrection there, though.
They get the res off. EQO, though, however, wisely able to back out in time to stay alive. Getting pocketed by Neptuno. He's going to be happy about that, but he's got that blade. He's looking into the back line, perhaps finding the target. I mean, they are on the tanks right now, but this is going to be the opening. Exactly. Just so but Prophet deletes him before EQO can do anything.
How you like it, EQO. That's exactly what he did to Prophet the entire last match. This one's not over, though. The blade's going to try to come in. Does not get anything going. Well, actually, it ends up landing on Fraggy. Misspoke there, sorry. And they should be able to clean this up. Now, Birdering will fall, but he did enough work that it should deflect the offense from pushing in yet again. Badoshin, as a counterpoint to dying very early last fight, will have Transcend for the next point. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Fusion, who had a bunch of ultimates, initiated with Valkyrie, ended up using Transcend, don't have a ton to work with except for these tank ultimates.
Curious to see when Carpe is going to decide to tap out. Maybe one more push here with the Widow before he starts going into the Tracer realm.
Well, there it is already.
Yeah, there it is.
Call. Goes right into Pure Dive here, and Pure Dive did not work very well against the Junkrat on the other side of things. Philadelphia must think they have a better answer to this.
See, Birdring, no joy there with the pulse. Getting some shurikens, dodging him. There we go. Tip for tat. Tickling each other.
They only need 79% here, 78.1 to be more accurate, and they've got 4.5 minutes to do it, so I wouldn't even mind to see them try to piecemeal this and try to just get a tick each time.
And Prophet really wanted to get that DMAC, sticking it in there, man. He's got the concuss mine as well up. Prophet right now just kind of trying to keep the pressure up on this point from his perspective. It's all about finding these money shots here in the back line. Unfortunately for him, the D-Matrix just deleting these mines before he can get that damage in.
A really nice play there from Badoshin because they were about to get a full-on tick, so he transcends onto the point, noticing that everyone was off, no pressure on there. And Fraggy's got a great opportunity now as EQO follows up with a blade. Progress ramping up.
Whoa, last split second, are you kidding? Couple of percent off, capping it. Prophet with the hero tire, hoping to turn it around. Gonna find Boombox, sure. And the rest of the point cleared up, but there is still a presence here. Carpe looking for the DMAC on Fury, who's getting pocketed by Nuss. Nuss trying to do the best that he can to keep his teammates alive right now, but the focus fire is too good for Philadelphia Fusion. Gesture, however, may be the one to turn the tide. He's back in this fight.
Yeah, a lot of bodies come back on the point. That Valkyrie's so clutch right there just to keep them in it, and they got to 75.8%. That will revert back down. Oh, that was so close.
That's way too close. That's unbelievable. All right, Spitfire, you caught a very, very lucky break there. Now can you hold for 3.5 minutes?
We'll very likely see another Valkyrie initiation here. EQO nearing a blade as well. If they want to get them off the point, Pogo's got the self-destruct, so they might walk right up Main Street, drop that on the point, and just hope to cheese out the last remaining percentages.
Remind in London, you know, yes, they are capable of it as they go in. There's the one kill, nearly the double. Yes, both of the back line dead. EQO couldn't have got a higher value blade out of that unless he found that triple, but it's not going to matter because now he's back onto the point here with the rest of his team, looking for the cleanup on Prophet, and this is going to be it. Birdring, how long can you survive? There's Sosa, though, the hero, yet again, 77.5%. They are 0.5% away from pulling this off, and it is going to be instantaneous as soon as Doshin goes down. Philadelphia Fusion take the map.
Higher value blades from EQO. Rather than his counterpart on Genji, he finds the corner. They're just a little too far out in spawn. I think that blade's got such a range.
Dude, Carpe, 31 limbs, 20 final blows. EQO, 32 limbs, 20 final blows. It's the DPS front line right now, working with their tanks. They are murdering London Spitfire.
Yeah, give Neptuno some credit. They threw a little bit of shade at him early on in that video. Not really worried about Neptuno. Well, maybe you should be. He only died 3 times as Mercy. That's exactly what you want to see out of him. Stayed alive, kept everyone alive on the point when they needed it.
Philly, right now, they are shining. They've got the lead here in this series. Now it's a matter of seeing if they can really extend it with the second map coming up next.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
I remember the next fight, you're gonna see a sick boop from me on Winston, so he doesn't get into the enemy trance and we kill him.
Okay.
Okay, here you clutch. I think the Prophet makes a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
He goes behind boombox, if I remember good.
Oh, yeah, I think like in the back of my head I was thinking, oh, Prophet always likes to flank, so I just decided to look around, and the second I checked, he just like walked out, and then I headshot him and you
Yeah.
him. Or
And, no, and now I boop Winston into the corner, if you notice, so he doesn't get the trance and we kill him. And they are using trance to save no one. You're using trance to sustain their trance, and now we play it. It's free win.
All right, welcome back, everybody. My name's Semler. With me is Hex, and that is our new series for the All Access Pass holders over on Twitch, behind the screens. Every week, the players are going to go over one of their maps, one of their series, really get in detail, in depth, and that is always high-value content. You always want to know what the players are thinking, what's the reasoning behind their decision.
It's so cool to see like the micro plays too, and to get both of the supports together of like, where were you, what did we do here, and just like the small thing right there that is really hard to catch in the moment of booping Winston into the corner so he's out of Transcendence. It's a small stuff like that that will win a fight. London is making wholesale changes as we go over to Blizzard World. They're bringing in an entirely new back line. It is going to be Hagopin and Closer. This might be because Blizzard World is a newish map. They might have been the ones who were scrimming it a little more often. Woo-Yaw will come in for Fury sometimes.
Yes, you did hear that, Woo-Yaw. He's like looking over like,
there's a lot of screams. He can be a little more aggressive on the D.Va. Snillo is going to come in for EQO as well. Maybe a little more of a Tracer play here. They might run a little Tracer Widow. You can see Tracer McCree on Blizzard World as well, so a lot of options there, but Snillo is probably going to be playing Tracer or maybe even Sombra here.
Yeah, no, exactly. There are options with it. I mean, that's the beauty of Blizzard World. Fresh new map, lots of different ways to play it. Teams are still figuring it out.
Carpe's actually played Sombra for them too, so maybe they do want to run Sombra Tracer, but it's kind of up in the air who's going to run which.
I'm just still wondering, man. Every time we see these teams really just go for wholesale roster changes, though, is it just because, yes, okay, maybe they've got some specialists? Is it because they've actually got some, they're still trying to figure out what their plans are?
Right.
We might actually be able to find something out here about our boy Carpe. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that now.
안녕하세요. 저는 이재혁 카르페 필라델피아 퓨전에서 DPS를 맡고 있습니다.
Carpe going to work. Fantastic defense from him so far.
카르페 DM이란 뜻은 제가 알기론 현실에 적응하며 즐기며 살아가는 뜻을 알고 있습니다.
Oh, no! Carpe totally going wild on this Widowmaker right now.
저는 맥크리를 되게 좋아하는데요. 제가 처음에 프로게이머도 꿈꾸게 된 것도
That's unreal. Carpe is like a magician just appearing out of nowhere.
이번 오버워치 리그 통해서 인정받는 딜러로 되고 싶어요.
Carpe is reigning supreme right now.
올해는 꼭 챔피언이 되도록 노력하겠습니다.
Listen, you know, Carpe, he's already the champion of many hearts out there, but there is a real strong chance of him becoming the champion of this league. It really does feel like right now, Philly Fusion, New York Excel, it's that battle that's going on, and Carpe, there's a lot of arguments to be made that he is the front runner as far as MVP is concerned.
He's just been a monstrous player ever since he broke onto the Overwatch scene, and as it is Twitch Day, let's get some of that Carpe spam. His name is from Carpe DM. He is not a fish, but some of the best Twitch copy pasta does come from Carpe. Perhaps being a fish. How is he so good at this game? He's not even in water.
He just seems to swim through opponents. You know, they're not even there, Hex. They're not even there. You know, we got the final blows here, and well, you know, Carpe, he's keeping it up. Although we do still have Snillo and Shadowburn, you know, pulling ahead, they don't get as much playtime as Carpe. That's what you need to keep in mind. Carpe is in there through and through. So to be posting numbers like that, that's super solid. Guys, in case you're wondering, we also just have a bit of a tech difficulty that popped up. Quick reboot, and we should be getting back into it in just a moment here. I'm pretty sure that we just loaded into the map. So action is on the way.
And what's crazy about that final blow screen is like Shadowburn and Snillo were up there as well. And you know, like you have 3 players on your DPS role for Philadelphia who've absolutely been crushing it. EQO wasn't even there.
That's the spicy thing about those stats though, Hex. You gotta be aware of it. It's like, okay, if you're playing like 1 map out of a series and you go off, well, cool, your stats are gonna be looking way better than the guy who's playing 4 maps.
Well, you saw Pine at the top right there. Pine hasn't had the most. Hey, I love Pine. You know this as well as anyone, but when he does play, he absolutely crushes.
He keeps the peace. Yeah, he keeps the peace.
He does.
6 bullets at a time.
What some of the best McCree play we've ever seen. Perhaps we will be treated to more of that throughout the day. We are loading into Blizzard World. You must construct additional pylons. Pylon terrace right there. Got probes going up overhead. You know the funny thing about this map is you got like probes going around, and they always confuse me. I always think I'm getting like shot by a Widow. I'm getting flanked or something. I've shot at more probes than I have enemy teams on this.
Can't you destroy those too? Don't they blow up if you shoot them?
I've shot at them. I didn't see it.
I mean, it's kind of counterintuitive though. You got a massive pylon. Usually Protoss want to try and protect their pylons. They don't really want them to be out there in the open, so I don't know, architects. Oh, are they aware of StarCraft 2 and how StarCraft 2 works?
See the Legacy of the Void cinematic? They want
yes!
That pylon. Oh, it's so sick.
Listen. Blizzard are still the gods of the cinematic trailers. Everyone, you got to do it every now and again. They've got those big YouTube videos where they just put them all in there and you just watch an hour of God tier. Just so good, so hype.
Okay, so
what was that Viking thinking? I'm still wondering to this day, what was that Viking thinking?
Hey, sometimes you got a 1v1 in Ultralisk. Just has to happen. All right, defensively here, this is going to be a Sombra and Tracer. Carpe has played the Sombra on this map specifically before. That's why they brought in Snillo, so this is typical of the Philadelphia defense. Offensively, they're just going to run pure dive, even though we've seen some bird ring on McCree on this map before. But look at this giant rotation all the way around the side.
Yeah, is this the whole thing is just, all right, I hope nobody notices that Prophet isn't with us and that Semi's gonna be able to catch somebody out. Boombox nearly there, and they are trying to collapse, and that is gonna be Birdring and Prophet working together with the help of Gesture. They find 2 quick kills to start things off.
And it's just confusing the angle. They're not ready to play defense in that situation, and it just kind of confuses everything for them. They did lose Birdring here already with 2 ticks, though, and now they got to put some pressure on the point, but everyone trying to come in just gets absolutely crushed by Wuyao.
Listen, yeah, exactly. Lucio, you're trying to run face first into a tank. You just figured out what happens then, man. You get body blocked and crushed into oblivion, literally. This is where I wish we kind of had the stylist. Stylist? We do have a stylist. What is it? What am I? The screen that we could draw things on, Hex.
Hey, yes, a stylus.
Stylus. Okay,
a
yeah, that's what you use to draw on it.
Oh, okay, Telestrator.
Telestrator. There we go. You know those guys at the desk, they get the fancy Telestrator. Whatever. It was to highlight the point of how that offense really came together, forced Philadelphia Fusion into Prophet, really opened it up for that dive straight in.
Well, I think the reason they took that angle and are running what they did is last time they really struggled against a Widow on this map, and Birdring eventually switched to the Genji to deal with the Widow. Now, the Widow's usually set up in that back corner, so now you're running pure dive. If there's a Widow back there, she's absolutely dead. So what gave them problems on this last map is exactly what this composition and rotation were allowed to do. Prophet into the back line against Boombox, will live at 9 HP, gets hacked, and then taken out in the end. But a lot of push already coming in here on second, and it looks like Philadelphia is still finding their feet.
Oh, I love it. The hack going through with the dashes. I think not. D9, he's still able to hack Neptuno to bits, though. And Birdring going to be feeling good about that one. You do have Carpe trying to do the best that he can here on the Sombra with these hacks. It's just that he's hacking people. They're still getting value.
Yeah, I mean, you're hacking people, but they're still living in all the healing that is going on around that. Carpe is going to have to hit a monster EMP. Where is he trying to set up? He is around up top, but everyone's very spread out. I think they're very aware an EMP has to be ready by now.
Yeah, they're trying to get out exactly. Same way you deal with the tire. Everybody get out of harm's way, spread out. Don't give a big clump to work with. Carpe, relentless.
Meanwhile, Wuyao gets a double on the both supports on the backline with that self-destruct. Now, no one with any healing here. This is an all-out brawl. Both team supports are dead. Next kills are going to be absolutely crucial. That kill onto Gesture will signal the retreat for the London offense.
Kind of curious. Enemies hacked 4 so far for Carpe. He's really managing to get value out of these hacks real quick, turning it around. Gesture, he was so deep that he just had no way out. There's no way once your jump pack is gone. All right, I think this is going to be the replay. Yep. Let's see it. We're launched right over the side. Perfection. Nowhere to go for Boombox and Neptuno.
Beautiful timing there. And also, you want to make sure to launch it so it's going to explode when it hits so they don't have time to get away. If you're too much close there, it gives teams a lot of time to retreat away from that. Meanwhile, even though Carpe has been getting a lot of hacks in here, he's still got EMP ready.
Oh, buddy! Nice, Birdring gone. Still, that was looking a little dicey, but he still makes it work.
Yeah, wipes the smugness right off of Widowmaker's face by sticking it with a pulse bomb, and that is going to be London trying to reset a little bit here. They will back off just for the moment, and again, being able to save this EMP is so huge. It doesn't charge the way it used to anymore, so being able to always hold that in the pocket, it doesn't allow London to play maybe the style that they want to. They do have to play spread out, and Philadelphia is picking them apart piece by piece.
Yeah, forcing them off the high ground as well. Gesture just diving in, hoping that somebody's gonna follow him, but nobody's gonna follow him into the grave just yet. Woohyall may be dancing on it, but Notion is there. No, rather Hagofin is there to keep him alive with the trance.
Well, Woohyall got Neptuno very early, but this is still slow going, so Neptuno is going to be back into this fight. Granted, those are very close respawns. They will get pushed, but I think Philadelphia still has a very good chance at defending this. Fraggy is out in no man's land right now, though, and he's at low HP. Gesture's got him in his sights. All the way in the back line. They will rejoin the fray. Oh, they left him alone. Boombox goes down.
They left Boombox alone. All by his lonesome. Gesture is going to be there to pound him to paste. Carpe now under focus here. Gesture really not wanting to let Carpe get comfortable with that Widow. He knows what he's capable of. Boombox did get rezzed up by Neptuno, though. And so now it's Gesture who's just all by his lonesome. Boombox going to help out with Carpe. They remove him, and it's on Prophet now to come up with the big play.
Well, you saw that Philadelphia knows how Prophet likes to play. He likes to flank, going to the back lines, and Neptuno and Boombox have been in each other's pocket to prevent this already. London hits themselves into a brick wall here and are going to change some things up to try to open this up. Birdring is now on the Widowmaker. Perhaps the card is pushed back far enough that you can find good sight lines. It's not under the pylon terrace. So we'll see what Birdring can get done here. Carpe on a Widow of his own as well.
Only a minute 10 left on this clock. Not a whole lot of time here. We're seeing some of that initial Blizzard world when it first made its way into the pool, getting shut down at the second point. Philadelphia Fusion, they know what they're about here. Well, there we go. Now this is Carpe. This is a Carpe to fear. He can see through walls. The rest of his team can as well. Trying to play these angles right now, trying to play careful. He knows that Birdring's out here hunting for him.
A nice bubble over top. Carpe is a little bit far out of the fight as London's going to rotate around and try to take this left side. Meanwhile, Prophet takes Poco out of mech.
Looking for the follow-up. There we go. Great fraggy with the follow-up to get the kill. And well, Closer is going to be able to bring him back to life. Hagafun, he's back into this fight, but that is going to cost Closer his life. Fraggy really following up on it. Birdring can count his lucky stars.
Just kind of unlucky for Carpe that he got a kill and it was right behind a sign, so he was unable to get that resurrecting Mercy. Carpe in a little bit of trouble, gets pushed all the way back. Self-destruct comes up over the top from Wuyao. It's gonna get a new mech here. 16 seconds remain.
Yeah, 20, I mean, exactly. They're all back into the mix as well now. Everybody rezzed up for Philly Fusion. So Carpe hunting for the angle. It's gonna have to be Gesture just throwing himself in here bodily. He's nearly got the primal. Not going to be able to use it to engage with, though. He has to get that line of sight to just leap onto the cart. He's going to have the shield as well. Wuyao is there with the D-Matrix as well to make life a little bit easier. But Prophet has got picked by Carpe to kick things off. You need to keep the presence on the point, though, here, Philly Fusion. Don't get too distracted by what's going on elsewhere.
At the moment that D-Matrix went down, Carpe hit the shot onto Prophet. Meanwhile, though, Neptuno, it will fall, so no resurrection available for the side of Philadelphia. And now, even though self-destruct's on the card, it will D-Mac. It does seem like London has the bodies around this point to be able to finally pull it off, though. Ooh, as close as can be.
Overtime. Minute 20 now to get it to point 3. And yes, it did look like a little bit of a collapse there. He's looking up for Philly Fusion, just not able to get those kills. Well, now you've got your healers getting staggered out.
A couple of changes. Birdring off of the Widow now. He's going to go to McCree instead. Prophet decides.
Yes, that was brutal. Fan in the crowd.
Yes, bullets are not as fun as the butts of guns to kill people with.
There's something more visceral to it.
It makes a nice thud.
It does. Considering, I mean, how skinny Tracer is, I don't know how she's getting that kind of thud weight going in there, whatever. We got the change up coming through here for Birdring. The man who's on a peacekeeping mission.
They're just waiting out this infra site. Carpe had popped it right there early on, so there was no reason to fight in those sight lines. They have both support ultimates, does Philadelphia here. London nearing it there too, so the execution of these support ultimates could ultimately decide if this offensive push works or not. Hagopin the first to pop, Neptuno answers the Valkyrie, so different ordering from either team.
Very quick there from Closer as well to get the wings out and start trying to get the chain heal going. Both of those support ults now used for London Spitfire. Birdring gets run over by Poco, literally.
Prophet was all the way in the back. He was trying to deal with Carpe, who's out of it. They're both kind of out of the mix right now. But meanwhile, Poco continues to just drive by on people.
What's gonna happen? Whoa, the self-destruct. Boombox thought that he was safe with the trance. Split second difference there, however, he goes up, but it's gonna be Wuyao solo here. How quickly can they kill the Mini Diva? And it is gonna happen that they cannot get here in time. London Spitfire not gonna make it. Will end before point 3.
Still a very good push, though, to get it all the way through point 3. I thought it was going to be where offenses go to die in the pylon terrace, right outside the point there. London able to scrap that one out at the very last second. See what Philadelphia has on their own offense.
Whole lot of hungry guys, X. I'll just go ahead and throw that out there real quick. That's something we can say for sure. These guys, they're hungry for the win here. They want to chain up those wins versus London Spitfire. They've done it already in higher pressure situations than this.
Yeah, but they have a personal chef.
They do.
Yeah,
Well, they also live in a mansion.
They do live in a mansion with a personal chef.
With a sick treehouse. Josh isn't here to talk about it today, but he actually lived in that treehouse for a week. And he made it sound so horrible, except that you're right. He woke up to catered food every morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Free breakfast?
I know. It's ridiculous. Chef Heidi absolutely crushing that dietitian role. And I couldn't live in a tree, man. Too many spiders. Spiders scare me.
Spiders in the tree? I don't know. It's more about just no protection from the birds. You're going to wake up, that thing's going to be cawing right there in the roof, 2 feet away from your head.
What I wouldn't pay to see Josh attacked by a flock of birds. I don't know why that amuses me so much.
Somebody hit up Kubrick. All right.
That was Hitchcock.
No, that was Hitchcock. You're right. It was a 50-50, bro. Damn it.
You know I'm going to catch that one.
Yeah.
I may not know much about
it out there, but exactly. Movie reference. For shame, Sam.
Yeah, and of course the sequel to that, Birdemic. The spiritual successor.
Why?
Why is that made? It's a good question. Philadelphia is going to run what it seems like the same thing that you like to run on defense here. That's what you call a segue, not a good one. Carpe is going to be on Sombra. So Sombra Tracer is the rule of the day. And London is going to try to run this defensive Widowmaker. And I think they're doing it because a defensive Widow gave them so much trouble against Houston. that they have no problem. They understand that that worked out well. Again, that's what their whole offense was predicated on, taking away the Widowmaker option, even though they didn't have one.
Let's see who's going to hit the shot to open things up. Carpe trying to figure out his way to how to get in here through all of this spam. They're just filling it with shots. Wuhial going to be just trying to deny the entry for the Sombra as long as possible. But it does look like Philadelphia Fusion are starting to establish a bit of a stronghold here.
That kind of just slow going right now as the Tracers will find each other and battle this one out. Snilla going for a deep flank, and early on, Neptuno kills Hagglepin with a boop. Not sure how that one happens, but that is a brutal loss right away. Will they be able to resurrect him? Closer's getting very low off screen right now. Closer is about like 1 HP still alive. That might keep them in this fight.
You're really hoping they are hanging on by a thread here. London Spitfire trying to play it patient. If they can get in here to deny one tick, that would be big. And right on the edge, they will. Neptuno gets run over by Wuhiel, but Carpe is there to trade versus Closer. So that healing is gone. It's all on Hago now to keep it alive here for London Spitfire, to keep his teammates healthy.
Boombox taking down Hago there too. I mean, these trades are so hard to determine right now in Blizzard World because both spawns are so far away from the point. I think defense is a little bit closer, but it's kind of clunky to get there. Because offense has a straight shot through it, and now they're putting some pressure on the point, nearing 2 ticks. They will also have a transcend if they need it.
They're gonna make 2 ticks. What's going on here? Birdring getting onto the high ground. It's finally gonna be Gesture contesting, and they eliminate Prophet. That's a big deal. It looks like Carpe was able to finally get in on that fight. Birdring looking for a flank, though, and he gets stuck for his trouble. Still out with the style play. That was beautiful.
I wonder if Closer's gonna stay on this Mercy, because that was a desperation Valkyrie there, very close to the end after they'd already lost a couple. He died immediately after popping the Valkyrie as well. His wings clipped early on. And this is what offense have been trying to do. As soon as you get this first point, push them as far back as possible, get the cart slow moving past the choke point. Carpe's gonna have an EMP ready, but this is that Neptuno kill early on. Kind of wondering how they got in here.
He sent them to sleep with the fishes. Oh no, never mind, he didn't.
No, Boop still does a little bit of damage. That's how you get tinnitus, even in your robot ears.
There's sharks in that water. That is definitely not the place you want to be swimming.
Hey, another one of my phobias. I guess I'm just afraid of everything.
Listen, we were all scarred by Jaws. Let's be real.
Exactly.
We all watched that way too young, and we never put our foot in the ocean again.
Well, that fight was over before it started, as both of the supports did fall for Philadelphia Fusion, but they are banking an enormous amount of ultimates. They should probably wait for Snillo here. They have 6 ultimates up, and an EMP should be able to crush us. What I'd love for Philadelphia is try to engage with the EMP, see if you get quick kills, and then hold everything else for your next push, because you probably need to win 2 fights to get here.
Well, that's a nice target to get.
That's going to slow them down.
I'm loving this fan.
I mean, it was horrifying. A man just got blown up by a grenade settler. It's a horror show out here. What?
Real horror show. All right, Alex. Let's get into it. Carpe's been rezzed up. They are back into this fight. EMP online and nearly a 6-pack to work with. And start the party off here for Philadelphia Fusion as Snillo is going to get that pulse. Sound barrier thrown out by Neptuno. Not going to get anybody. In fact, that was a low-value one. May have kept him alive a little bit longer with Boombox, though, as they are getting focused.
They're getting down very, very low. Braggy has to prop Primal Rage just to stay alive during this, but it's starting to pay off. They get a couple of kills.
They're starting to roll in, but man, they're being so patient with the ult execution right now, Philadelphia Fusion. I'm loving it. They still have 4 ultimates to use to continue pummeling London Spitfire with. London, they've got both their support ults. Wuhiel self-destruct has come back online as well, but they're going to make so much progress here, Philly.
And still been able to hold on to some of these ultimates, though, too. I mean, it's kind of a game-ending ultimate would be EMP to go in here. I thought they were going to try to use that, but I think their plan got thrown a wrench into. That's why the order of operations not necessarily there. And now with the team getting a little bit more clumped up, it could be prime EMP territory. Snow is the one in the back line, though. Carpe's just frontlining this Sombra.
All right, they are just looking to put as much pressure. There it is, the EMP. Prophet, you're not getting out of this one intact. Carpe really getting rid of it, but instead it's going to be Closer dashing in and getting the res off. That cannot be allowed.
That's an angry EMP if I've ever seen one. He was tired of dealing with it. I believe it only hit Prophet. They weren't able to take him down. And now, though, Philadelphia is finding a way to bring this back. The tank play from Philly has carried this map.
That's a much better sound barrier coming in from Neptuno. The fight was pretty much over, though, with the 3 kills. Good focus fire coming in from Philly. And they are going to be able to push this forward. The point will make it. No, contested with 0.3 meters left. And hey, there we go. Birdring with the Bastion. Surprise, surprise.
Problem is, while you're posted up trying to gun them down, you're not contesting the payload.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the payload continues to push through. In Philadelphia, you can say the first map, it was the DPS really carrying them. Of course, they had the all-star stats looking for it. I think that Fraggy and Poco have played fantastically this map, always chasing down supports. And Poco's really got it where he can turn it on. He's just been diving Hagopan constantly, and he's really putting so much pressure onto this backline.
Snilla really keeping an eye on him. Hacks back though, and that's going to be happy for him. Well, they are making progress now. They are so close to getting this through. It is going to be the fight. The dive coming in from London Spitfire, looking to take the fight to him. Gesture is going to splatter Neptuno. Does not manage to survive it, but they are coming out ahead in terms of kills here, London, and that is going to slow things down for Philly.
They're going to have to back out here, but they still have 2 minutes, and they don't need to go a whole lot further, about less than 10 meters or so to get in here. London Spitfire do have both support ultimates about to come online. The same could be said for the Fusion. They might even wait and get this EMP going and also get in with a sound barrier. If you can strip everything off of the other team and get your team a whole lot of shields, well, that's going to slow it down too.
Oh, wow, Neptuno, that is a big one. But hey, the hack, the follow-up on Gesture. He's got no support, but he does have both support ults
just leave.
getting thrown in.
Just leave. You just won the fight based on the fact that they had to blow everything there. Not an ideal situation, and now they're back in with their own support ultimates. This should be it for Philadelphia.
Yeah, self-destruct out in the open. The translocate by Carpe to survive just a little bit longer. The hack on Gesture as well. Carpe has been a menace with these hacks. Hack the planet! Carpe, that's what he's shouting at this point.
Carpe doing his best acid burn impression right now as he's absolutely crushing everyone, but Philadelphia's deflected by a couple of small kills there towards the end. London blew everything there just based off the fear of getting hacked or EMP'd. Both of the support ultimates came out at the same time, and they still were unable to clean it up. Birdring had a couple of nice kills there late, but now Philly can engage with the sound barrier.
This is a huge advantage, and Boombox not too far off that trance either. Now it's just about Neptuno surviving. Don't be the first to go down. As soon as this bubble goes down, however, Birdring, he's going to have some targets to play with here. And sure enough, that is going to slow things down. Bold move there as Woohyol will get DMX'd, and they are going to be a couple kills coming through. Prophet right now deciding it's leg day. It's time to carry. 2 kills for him to slow things down further. And Philly, they're hanging on by a thread.
Both tanks went down for London very early on, and Prophet does not get those kills. This map very well could have ended right there. As it stands, 20 seconds remain. Neptuno with a very late switch onto a Mercy. Maybe looking for a damage boost here. Boombox does have his Transcendence to get onto the point, and Carpe is going to try to set up a Deadeye here as well. They want Woohyol out of mech to do so.
Exactly. No D-Matrix, no lunging in. There is still Gesture alive as well. They're playing this very carefully. London Spitfire one at a time, onto the point. Try to stagger out these tanks, and Carpe decides, hey, it's time to get the value kill. Hago is out of it. No trance for this next fight. You can be sure that London Spitfire want to get him back in, and Closer will be able to get the res, but he's not healing his teammates. In the meantime, they're getting picked off.
They res it, and again, both support ultimates out at the same time in desperation for London. Philadelphia walking towards this point. It is going to require a miracle play, but Hago Closer down. That pulse bomb's not going to be enough.
This is it. Philly have done it. 2-map lead over the London Spitfire for the Philadelphia Fusion. And well, it is cutting it so close, but they are patient right now, Philly. It seems like all the hard work has paid off for them.
Some last second switches, and it should not even have been as close as it was, as Spitfire had to panic out a couple times. Some great DPS play. You saw this early on, but this one, even though it's 2-0, is not even close to over. These have been close maps. We have more games to play after the half.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Philly is showing no mercy so far. They're up 2-0 at the half. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett alongside Mr. Brent, Mr. Crumbs today. And so far, a bit surprising because you look at the previous matchups. London, they skunked Philly in the first two meetings. The last one, it went to a Game 5. Today, it's all Philadelphia.
Is it particularly surprising, though? I mean, London, they don't have a good successful record on Blizzard World. They don't have a good successful record on Anubis. Philadelphia do. So I feel like it's a fair point to make, you know, in the previous engagements, you know, London have usually got the better of Philadelphia. But this time, I mean, these maps do suit them. So
let's jump right into it, Crumbs, because we started off on Anubis, and EQO, his presence is being felt. 3-game suspension. He's back today. And he showed us everything. The Junkrat, very impressive on defense.
So this was a very interesting game because the variants in the strategy were not many. It seemed like both teams just decided to run head first at each other and see what stuck every single time. And it turned out that Philadelphia had the better end of the stick as they were able to use their own ultimates to a higher effectiveness and nullify the Genji ultimate out of London.
Now, a lot of this as well was based off the fact that Carpe actually had a phenomenal game in terms of getting picks on the Widowmaker.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these games, the momentum is basically off the back of these singular picks. That's the way Philadelphia like to play as a team. And it really showed itself in this game, at least. But we also have insights powered by Intel to really break down why Philadelphia actually won this map. And it's pretty tasty, if I do say so myself.
So tasty.
It's so tasty. And I really want you all to focus on this particular section right here. Not that one, but this one here. So this squad of players that are going to be moving into the backline. EQ in particular, he's got a blade. Now, with the Dragon Blade in hand, he's going to be trying to make his way into the backlines and take away the supports, right? However, there's a bit of miscommunication by London themselves. So what's going to happen is Carpe is going to move onto the point like this. Birdring and Fury are going to try and contest him at the same time, which essentially leaves the backline completely open because when EQ has the blade, you need Fury to try and appeal and try and defend the backlines because Prophet is not enough. You can see immediately, just here, I'm going to pause it again. Fury boosts away from the point, and that was honestly the game-losing moment for them because EQO has free reign in that backline to just do whatever he wants. He collects 2 easy kills onto the support backline. And off the back of that, all Philadelphia have to do is snowball and focus down the right targets, and it's just an easy win for them. And this was the sort of game plan that both of these teams were employing throughout the entirety of Anubis. They were running into the exact same compositions on defense, and again, they were trying to attack it in similar ways. However, that was the difference maker, was the sort of micro play between the divas. Poco was often peeling whenever Prophet had a blade, so he was really minimizing the impact they got on their Genji players. So that was really where Philadelphia took it, in my opinion.
And I did notice some clutch plays where those Genji blades were getting shut down. Prophet, for example, you saw blown up by a Junkrat in the past. Prophet even got EQO earlier in the game as EQO was trying to blade with his Junkrat mines. But at the end of it, I felt like EQO just is outplaying the other DPS in this series. Are you guys seeing that same thing?
It was kind of like that. He got a lot more done. And what I want to highlight is the time played. So obviously he has a lot less time on this hero. He played more Junkrat than Prophet and vice versa. But the objective kills and Dragon Blade kills is what stands out for me. The fact that they both hit the same amount of Dragon Blade kills, but EQO still hits 3 objective kills more means that he was getting so much more value out of his blades. The kills had a higher impact, and that's part of what you mentioned by having D.Va there to help him out, or by peeling with the Junkrat a little more effectively, nullifying what Prophet was doing. So the Genji made a big difference, and the parts around them made him that much better.
Let's go to game 2. Blizzard World is the new map in the rotation for the first time here in Stage 3. And Crumbs, we had some faith in London. Early on, they showed us a unique strategy that paid dividends.
Yeah, so the game was actually pretty close, and I think it mostly came down to this initial push by London. This was really creative. So you see that Prophet is lingering around by himself. He's not really in line of sight while the entirety of the team goes for a complete flank. And you got to remember, the flank doesn't revolve entirely around the position of the enemy team, but rather the position of your own parts. You have 6 members. They split up 5, circle around, and all of a sudden you've surrounded your Zenyatta. You go in right away. And that was one of the fastest pushes we've ever seen on Blizzard World, just by a nice little creative adaptation that I know for a fact teams will implement that one.
They crushed through point A. They slowed down on point B, and they didn't get point C. So what went wrong for London? Why is Philly up 2-0 at the half, boys?
So one thing I noticed, actually, it was a reoccurring theme of when London were trying to attack during that second point, was they were prioritizing Boombox into the backlines, right? And leaving Neptuno completely free. So they would get the pick onto Boombox straight away, and then essentially they think, okay, job's done, the support's dead. But then they wouldn't really prioritize defending his corpse. So Neptuno was constantly getting the resurrect off every single time. And by the time that had happened, you know, Philadelphia had already focused the front lines and taken them down. So it was just a very, again, this kept happening over and over again on that B point. And it was tough to watch, to be honest, because it's like they did end up changing it in the final overtime push, but it was tough to watch for the short time that it was there.
Well, we should remind everybody, Prophet said we're not really worried about Neptuno. Maybe you should think about that in the second half. Focus down that Mercy. Guys, that's going to do it for our halftime coverage, but we want to remind you the All Access Pass is available, and it's free right now on twitch.tv through the end of Stage 3. It's got subscriber-only chat and an extension that gives you real-time statistics as well as the team rosters. It's pretty awesome. Check it out during the break. We'll be right back. When we come back, it's a big Game 3. Can London get back in it? We'll find out in just a moment.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
The damage available. And Boyer has so much ability to be able to just get away from players like Linkser on the Tracer. Now getting very close, building up the ult, and there it is. Oh, okay, the coalescence coming out here. Jaehong's just giving the Houston Outlaws a good hosing down. Oh, they're clean indeed. But that push from Seoul was nothing but dirty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Philadelphia Fusion have a 2-0 lead on the London Spitfire, and they are that much closer to repeating the result of that Stage 2 playoff bout. Now, guys, it's Twitch Day, so remember to get your all-access pass, because if you do, you'll have access to an exclusive Players Pack. And what that includes is an away skin for every Overwatch League team. That's 12 skins for those of you who are counting. Now, they won't be available until May, but if you have the All Access Pass, they'll automatically be deposited into your account when they're released. And who doesn't want in-game content? You gotta look fresh when you're out there doing your thing in Overwatch comp. Anyways, guys, we got a whole nother half left to go. The London Spitfire are looking to claw their way back into this match. So Blizzard Arena, put your Sour Patch Kids Thundersticks together, and let's get back into the action with our casters, Simler and Hex.
Thank you, Malik. Right here, bro, right here. Boom! All right, we got it. So, now I know that I'm getting access.
Yeah.
Finally, the away skins, Hex. They're only the sexiest skins in the game.
You've been asking for these for quite a long time. So fresh and so clean.
Seriously? Yes. Reference game on point.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on. Yeah, that's sick. Really, not going to be available to me. Whatever, Blizzard. Fine, you're giving them to us.
You know, those white skins, a tactical advantage on Ilios. You just blend
You blend
into
it
all the
camo.
architecture. Yeah, man. I pick my skins based on the map sometimes. I'm like, oh, it's a little bit darker. Let's go for a darker map.
So are you saying that London will have an advantage going into Ilios next?
No. Well, I mean, they are 6-3 on Ilios, whereas Philly is 5-5. They are making some changes in here, though. Bedosian is going to come in for Hagopin.
I like the little hand that just sticks in there. Just, hold on, just hold still. There we go.
Hureg has joined the server as well. He is subbing in for Birdring. You have to imagine maybe some of that is going to be McCree or Widow. Not entirely certain of the reasoning there, but this is a do-or-die map for London. They are down 0-2 in the series. If Philly wins, Ilios sets over.
That's it. That's it. Pressure is on here for Spitfire. They got a full tank. Ammo fully stocked. Now it's time to go in all guns blazing because they have to win this map if they want to stay alive in this series. And if they were to lose, I mean, 3-0, 3-1, they're both equally bad. To lose again to Philly Fusion with that scoreline, that would be devastating for the Spitfire.
Very interesting for London. They're running triple tank here. It is going to be Prophet moving over to the Roadhog. Meanwhile, the Widow battle will commence on the other side of things. So less DPS on this side. It is a Tracer Widow for the side of Philadelphia. And meanwhile, Fraggy goes down early and Prophet is on the right hero to try to deal with those tanks.
Yep. That hook coming in from Prophet, that was nice. Yeah, I like this, to see a little bit of a different approach coming in here from Spitfire, right? You want to run a Widow? Cool, we'll have one too, but then how do you deal with all of the meaty tanks who can just crank out deeps as well if you're Prophet onto the...
Yeah, and dealing with Bragg early on means that there's going to be almost no one to jump the Widow, so it's all up to Carpe to be able to hit that shot there. He is getting damage booster right now, looking for the angle. Gesture finds a lone boombox, though, as the Mercy was up boosting Carpe over there, so left boombox out to dry. Meanwhile, though, Snillo gets in the back line, closer down as well.
Oh, Gesture dropping dangerously low. He's kind of hanging in here, but now it's Prophet trying to challenge on this point. Needs to delay just a little bit longer. Poco with the fancy flying. Dodges the hook and point blank Carpe. That's some spicy sniper work.
Just jukes him early on. Snillo got to the back line there. His Tracer play has been magnificent, and Philadelphia will take control now. 43% on the board for London already. Hureg nearing infra sight here, so we'll have the small advantage in this sniper duel. See when he decides. Yeah, he's gonna near it momentarily. Philly's just gonna play at a sightlines anyway and let Carpe deal with it.
Yeah, quite capable man, Carpe. He is the cleaner. Leon, all rolled into one. Just a lot of dead bodies. He's very good at it. Now there is the stick.
Definitely a professional. Carpe nearing his infra site of his own, and they've been doing a great job of playing around this right now. You see Snillo just hugging the pillar right now. It is his safety. He goes in with his tanks. Rui all out of this already too, so now they will take the lead. A preemptive or late, you could call Valkyrie from Neptuno, though not sure what triggered that one.
Fat fingered maybe? It can happen. His team are trying to take advantage of it, at least try to push forward a bit more aggressively, given the fact that they will have the additional heals, but that's something I think that Neptuno wishes he had back.
Yeah, but I like just not even being too aggressive on it. I mean, there's throwing good money after bad. It's okay, that's a mistake. The bigger mistake would be going in, trying to force something, going out of position, and then losing people anyway. So yeah, it's an alt mistake, but it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things.
Woo, Carpet doesn't want to have anything to do with that. Angry Monkey just running around, running ham, but Fraggy in the meantime, he's gotten pissed off as well, and he found Doshin. There's a kill. Poco getting body shot. He's not going to care too much. Just a little bit of damage up to the paintwork on that mech.
Next going here to try to get the Widow out of it. I thought it might be a little late from Poco, but he gets up there just in time to help him out, and you don't need the kills. You've still negated that Widowmaker play, and now at 86% and counting up, Philly is one fight away from winning this map. London might preemptively Valkyrie to try to get him. That is a huge snipe onto Boombox. Neptuno will go back and res him up, though.
Yeah. Now you got Carpe hunting for the angle. Once again, Hureg can see through walls along with the rest of his team, so that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. Oh, Prophet blinking straight into a one clip. All the bullets to the face. There's the stick. It's still on with the big plays right now, making it all happen.
successful defense so far. Now, London, they're in a tight spot.
That one clip gave him the pulse bomb, and now Gesture will fall because of that as well. Very difficult to take on a Zen who's got a Mercy in his pocket, but they discord him, and Snillo is running wild.
Gonna be able to get out of that self-destruct as well. Rez goes off by Neptuno, bringing Fraggy back into the fight. They're starting to trickle in here one at a time for London. Spitfire Gesture is back into this. 5 players here. Now it's a matter of surviving long enough for Doshin to get back into it. They need that Discord to get those kills, but hey, Hurek will drop Neptuno anyway.
It's an absolutely clutch kill there to go over on the side. And during all of this fracas, despite the bodies on the point for Philly, it is taken by London, but only for a brief period of time. 1 kill on the Boombox, but Philadelphia still has the body advantage on the point. Good stall out here, though.
Yeah, there you go. Come on, you gotta get rid of Gesture at that point. He is so low. Get a body on the point.
Still haven't taken it back as London's counting up now. Finally switched over. Desperation time for London to get on the point. They don't really have anything to work with. They have to win this on pure mechanics. That's 1 kill to start off on Carpe.
Yeah, now Carpe is out of the picture, but they traded for Gesture, and Carpe gets rezzed by Neptuno. Brought back into this fight. Snillo, of course, still the terror. And well, now it's again London Spitfire, one after another, trying to get in here. They are finding kills. The back line is dead now for the Philly Fusion.
Both supports out of this for London. They have to try to stay alive, just buy some time so Closer to get back. He's on Lucio. They are still trying to get kills. Wuya on the carry right now. Will even get a new mech.
Unbelievable. At that point, you're thinking, who's just gonna frag out here and just manage to carry when both DPS or both heals are dead? That's London Spitfire refused to say die, and some mistakes made by Philadelphia. I was actually channeling the Philly coaches earlier, where I'm pretty sure they're back there in that room right now. Just get somebody on the point.
Just touch it. Just touch the point.
Just get on it. Because seriously, there are a couple opportunities there for Philly Fusion to not give up the point to London and to close it out. So we'll see. Is that going to rattle them, or are they going to be able to get the job done? It's 90% on the board now for London Spitfire. Wuhiel D-Mech, no time wasted there. But again, Neptuno falls to Prophet. No res possible.
Prophet has gone absolutely off in the last 2 minutes here. He has put this team in his very capable back. They are still getting the remainder of these kills, and London, despite all odds, is pulling this one all the way back. They have a huge advantage right now. They're going to take stage 1 of Ilios.
There we go. There we go. That's some of that fine vintage of the London Spitfire. You know, it's aged well. It took a little bit of time for it to arrive. But now that's the London that never refuses to say die, and that you can never really count out of the fight until the score is on the board.
Wuhiel with some very good diva play there towards the end, keeping it alive, and the remech on the point, unable to be denied by Philly, may have cost them that stage. We are moving to stage 2 of Ilios. This is a must-have map for London, and we are going over to the murder hole.
Yeah, boops galore, but more importantly, and what's more exciting, it is going to be the Pax McCree, because he is going to be here on both teams now. Hureg on the one side, Carpe on the other, both of them very capable at hitting headshots.
Hureg, I believe, absolutely won that Widow battle, and his McCree, to me, has been somewhat underwhelming for London in the past. Now he's going against Carpe, who he said McCree is his favorite hero to play. This is a battle that is going to be fun to watch. We're in the Wild West, even though it's Ilios.
Sniller taking a peek around on this side, gets chased back. Sticking together very firmly, both of these teams for now, not willing to give up that first kill to open things up as Hureg is trying to find an angle to hit these headshots. They will manage to get Gesture into the corner. He's going to be able to make some progress, some serious progress on that point, but he gets contested immediately by Philly Fusion, and they are giving it up. Now it's going to be the Fusion who are starting to creep their way towards control.
Snow's been a nuisance to the backline. You see over there, Hureg throws a flashbang into the wall. That is a discorded Winston, and that will die quickly to McCree.
Yep, that's how you get that kill. Get the Discord on the tank, focus him down. Fraggy unfortunately gets caught. Can his teammates bring it back? Neptuno somehow survives, hangs on by a thread. And well, this has got to be the flip, but Carpe denies it, pokes forward onto it. Poco discorded, not going to survive for long either. He will eventually get removed. And it will be the London Spitfire picking up the first percentages here on this payload.
Just great job by both Tracers to be dodging all of these flashbangs. McCree is generally thought of as at least a soft counter to Tracer, but they're baiting out these flashbangs. Snillo, meanwhile, finds a kill in the back line. They will force out the Transcend. That was an ambitious Deadeye.
That was a bold Deadeye. Sometimes you got to go for it, but Snillo is not having any of that. He was Johnny on the spot there to get some bullets to the face. Oh, well. He is still continuing. Snillo, I mean, now they've managed to successfully push them back despite what London Spitfire had. Felt like an advantage going into that.
I mean, sometimes you have to go for it, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't. He was dead anyway, I think. He was just way too far forward. He's probably going to die. Missed the flashbang onto the Mercy in that situation. And we have another back and forth burner here as Philly's taking control of the point. Some pressure there. Neptuno goes down to Wuyall, the aggressive diva player for London.
Wuyall finding Neptuno's going to start things off. And there we go, the stick. The D-Mech self-destruct going to be used, but Snilla can back out Fraggy as well. They will survive this. And there's the follow-up. Somehow Prophet getting caught by Poco self-destruct.
Yeah, but he went in and he got Boombox during that, so it's absolutely a trade that you will take. Meanwhile, London has taken the point back into this, and this never-ending fight on Ilios. Seems like the point captures are incidental. They just happen to happen while people are chasing kills.
All the kills. Yeah, that's right, Carpe, okay.
Both High Noons are available, both Deadeyes. Trying to find the angle here. You really need to escort your McCree in a lot of these control maps. He's very bad when he's alone, can be overwhelmed. So you see tanks and supports almost always with the carry DPS.
And then you find a random gesture. Thought for a second he might wind up in the murder hole. Instead it's Doshin with the snipe, the volley, chucked through the doorway, connects with Carpe's face.
They force out that res. Both support ultimates available for London and Philadelphia about to get there as well as they try to put some pressure on the point. Little fan the hammer, even the pros do it.
Oh yeah, massive damage dealt, and well, here we go. We are gonna have to trade, and that's gonna be Horeg. Finds Poco with it, Neptuno gone, Prophet relentless right now, and they are pulling ahead here, London Spitfire, 79%, 80% and counting with a team kill.
Escorted off the point, definitely. London didn't have to use everything there either. They will still have Transcendence on the other side of things. Philadelphia decided to use their Transcend while holding on to the Valkyrie. That's a little different style from each team that we've seen come to fruition on the previous maps as well. Snillo is going to have to be a hero here with the pulse bomb, but he's already gone!
Doshin, man. Prophet didn't even need to get in on that. The man was dead already! They're gonna find Boombox. It is Philadelphia Fusion completely falling apart here under the gun. They're not able to keep it together. They're getting hunted down relentlessly. There's a palm. Frankie somehow dodges it, but Prophet's still gonna be able to deal the damage.
He might not have dodged it. He's just camping on that pack there, but now Wuyall gets another kill here. London just needs a few more kills cleaned up. Neptuno down again. The tanks have really prioritized Mercy.
Yeah, Boombox is running back. He swapped the soldier to be able to sprint back into the fight even faster, and then gets T9'd completely by Gesture. Nope, you're not allowed onto the point, no admission, and it will be London Spitfire picking up a map in this series. 2-1, Philly in the lead. But London's still in this. Hex, we were talking about this coming into this map. We got what we wanted in the end. 4 maps at least here that matter.
I just wanted to go to a map 4 that mattered here. It will be on Junkertown as we go forward. The Spitfire tanks came alive there. It's why you bring in Wuyall. He's just a little bit more aggressive on the dives onto the supports.
He keeps off that pressure, exactly. And well, Horeg, the man to make the difference on the McCree, certainly keeping the peace. We'll find out how it all goes down after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
the debut season of the Overwatch League, the best teams on the planet battle for supremacy, and stars become legends. More than 100 players have joined the league, but only one will be named Overwatch League MVP, presented by T-Mobile. Cast your vote for the MVP on Twitter using the hashtag OWLMVP and their battle tag. Your votes, along with the Overwatch League broadcast team, will determine who reigns supreme. Let your voice be heard and be a part of esports history. Help us choose the Overwatch League MVP, presented by T-Mobile.
That is a tough one to do, man, because the season is long. You're going to have your ups and downs. I mean, both of these teams sitting at the top of the pack right now, both of them have got guys that could be running for that MVP game.
Yeah, you could have picked almost anyone from London in Stage 1 and Stage 2. I mean, Prophet was going off. Birdring had his games. Gesture was playing so well, they felt comfortable trading away their other tank, who happens to be another guy you'd put in the MVP candidate. But Gesture been playing very well. It's been somewhat rougher, but I think all these guys have the capability of returning to form. And if you want to have a conversation about MVP, which is always in sports, is it the best player or the most valuable player? You gotta look at this guy.
Yeah, no, Carpe, he's been standing out since day one in this league. He's been putting on a show all day today. I don't know how many hacks this guy had earlier on Sombra, just high impact plays, well, in and out.
Yeah, exactly. I think value to his team. If you take him off this roster, it's a completely different team. But hey, there's a lot of players out there. If you look at the best team in the league, New York, you could pick any one of those players. If you say Biobi, Libero, Jonak, they all are contributors. A lot of people in the conversation. Even EQO, who is now subbing in for Snillo, in his short time in the Overwatch League has made such an impact. Man, that MVP voting should be tight as we go through. We are going to Junkertown. And this is not the best map for Philly here, so you know what I'm rooting for. Map number 5.
Yeah, you're probably going to get it here, Hex. You've been getting a lot of what you want. You're like, I really want them to win this third map, so the fourth map is going to be lit, and sure enough, we got that. So we might get that fifth map here, Hex.
What do the kids say? Did say hashtag blessed? I don't know.
I only get blessed, hashtag bless him.
Well, maybe the fish head on the plate there does not bode well for Carpe here. But on Philadelphia's last push on Junkertown versus Houston, they didn't even get first point. And then they really struggled against a Bastion offense. I don't think that's necessarily what we're going to see out of the Spitfire offense here. They do like to run maybe a Junkrat and the Roadhog as well. Of course, you'll be running a Widow here. So London is going to opt for triple tank here with Prophet going on to the Roadhog, and defensively a Roadhog and Orisa as well. Junkrat too. I mean, it is the home map for our Wastelanders.
They're coming home. They're gonna sleep in their own beds tonight. What's not to look forward to there?
I mean, it's a bed in Junkertown, so it's a bed of nails.
They might get decapitated while they're asleep as well. I think there is a bounty on their heads. But hey, we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, Hanks.
It's been bloodless so far as his push has already come all the way around the bend. The defense giving up a lot of ground here. The Philly defense just getting pushed back. Gesture blown to bits.
Yeah, I think he got caught in a trap there. Not able to get out of harm's way, and so Philadelphia Fusion, so far, pretty stiff defense set up. Looking pretty good. And, well, there is going to be the peak. Usual spot there for EKO to try to lob some nades in. Shame that Hureg wasn't able to take advantage of that.
An unresable position. This is interesting that you see Neptuno on the Roadhog over here. So they are running this single support in Boombox. A lot of pressure there, but Neptuno's going for the flank, and they know it. They know that's where Roadhog looks to hang out to try to deal with the Widow, and this great angle from London has opened things up.
Risky play after risky play. First it was EQO, then Neptuno. That could be all the opening that they need, except that Carpe is going to find the kill on Doshin. Rezival's position, though, it looks like Closer going to be able to bring him back to life. And now it's going to be the tire getting thrown out here by EQO. Both of the supports are together. Is he going to be able to actually get it in here, though?
Trying to bait that out. That is going to be a great play from Wheel. Even lives through it right now. We've seen Divas just try to make the debt on them because they'll get out of mech. That's fine. If they died Baby Diva form, you can res them up and they will get their mech right back. Carpe is getting the better of Hureg on this map. Was not the case on Ruins.
Now, there we go. This time it's working. Prophet goes fishing, finds Neptuno. Neptuno somehow survives. And well, Prophet, now you're going to be able to make it out. Yes! The double kill coming through with the self-destruct, or at least Doshin
And the bongos get blown to bits.
Got that supercharger. It's so important to prioritize supercharger in these fights. Happens to just be a casualty of that self-destruct, and now holding pretty strong here. And Junkertown offenses, the time burns pretty quick. We're at about 90 seconds remaining here, and the defense looks stout. Hurag is gonna have to do better in this Widow battle. Luckily, he's got his ultimate up, pops it immediately.
Don't waste any time at all. Trying to look through the walls, trying to find that opening shot. Carpe playing straight through, and he gets caught completely off guard by Hurag. I like it. Good positioning there by Boombox, closing off the angle to get the res. But now the res has been used, and Prophet gets the D-Mech on Poco, but there's the supercharger coming down for Philadelphia Fusion. They are just cranking out damage right now.
Oh, they're gonna drop the Transcend into it, which is so smart. You know that supercharger can put up so much damage. A big tire is needed here for the Philadelphia defense to hold on. Will get the D-Mech onto Tebow, but again, that's the ideal target for them. But Doshin, meanwhile, has been pushing this cart the entire time. Hurag gets the better of Carpe again.
Finally, he's able to come out ahead in that duel, and that's gonna turn it around here. At the very end, 45 seconds left on the clock, and they'll be able to push it through. 3 minutes 16 is what London have left to work with here in the time bank. And while we will see the changes coming through now for Philadelphia Fusion, Neptuno hops on that Mercy. They will have that res in play.
They're still opting to keep the Junkrat and Orisa here because they are able to already take high ground. Had they lost the high ground and defense, or offense rather, was set up here, you might see a transition into a dive defense, which a lot of teams are favoring if that is the case. It really just depends on where you lost your last fight. Was it right at the point or was it halfway through? They lost it halfway through, so they're in a decent spot defensively.
Especially on whether or not Carpe is going to be able to find Hurag here, win this duel, and take Hurag off the map. There's going to be that threat. A lot of damage being dealt. There you go, sure enough. Closer decides to pop the wings immediately, however, so he should be able to get the res going here onto Hurag if he wants. It doesn't seem like it. He's going to be sticking to his guns, just trying to keep his teammates topped up. They do not want to let Philadelphia press the advantage, but Wu Hyul still getting D-Mech'd despite it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a choice that you make. Do you think that your team needs this healing to go through so that you can get the damage? The flank is going. Neptuno's all alone. Neptuno deleted by Prophet. Prophet gets Carpe too, and he's still alive.
Oh, that's the monster play right there. Prophet once again coming up big for his team. And now they just keep to get pushed. They get to keep pushing. This is nuts. Carpe and Neptuno still running back.
It's a 6v4. These tires have done nothing so far looking for the Mercy. He's got the sights. He's got closer.
There we go. That's the value to bring it back. EQO finally turning up in this fight. Hurag slightly under pressure, but we will have the Transcendences both getting used here. So now you kind of just wait 6 seconds and just see if you can get anything out of it. Hurag, if you hit a headshot through that, he can still find a kill. But it's going to be the self-destruct right into the mix.
Beautiful play. He times it against the shield. Again, self-destruct can be so good against Orisa if you just work around her shield cooldowns. They do just that. Over the top, takes down 2, and the whole hog for good measure. And as tough as first was for London, was as easy as second was. Prophet having himself a play and a half. This is just a solo play right here.
This is disgusting. Oh man, Carpe, the grappling hook had already been used. He had no way out.
There's almost no better feeling than connecting in the perfect range with an alt fire on Roadhog. Like especially a Tracer dancing around, just one shotter over there. And London continues to push. They've got 2.5 minutes to try to finish out Junkertown.
Yeah, Prophet, it's all about just him keeping this head of steam going. He's in the lead in terms of limbs, in terms of final blows and damage dealt. So he's definitely having a game. Roadhog, all good, still gonna wreck. So melt that shield, get it down. Prophet gonna hang around this payload for now, goes for the hook, gets denied. The halt around the corner, not gonna be able to yank somebody into their death.
Neptuno has popped the Valkyrie here, so it's gonna be very hard to find these kills. Gonna have to isolate someone. That he goes fishing, comes up empty again, self-destruct comes through.
Do they have a shield? No, they don't. Prophet not gonna be able to. Guess a bit of that belly was just sticking around the corner. He goes down, Closer gonna be able to get the res, but that makes it obvious where he is. Unfortunately for him, Hurag is gonna deny the tire. Trying to go for the big play.
He was trying to time that tire to get the resurrection. Yep. He knew exactly where they were going to be right there, and that's a beautiful shot there. It does seem like London will finally be repelled, finally a grasp of offense as Carpe finishes off these final blows. The defense finally stabilizes here for the Fusion. Now Carpe versus Hurag's gonna be real interesting here in a second because they're both going to have infrasight available, and it's kind of a game of chicken. Who pops it first? Who's gonna have the better angle?
For now, it seems like Carpe's willing to play patient. Just waiting, trying to suss it out. There we go. Spotted his target, misses the shot, and nearly gets clipped for his trouble. That shield got melted so quick.
Poco got D-Mech during this, though, so a lot of this damage should be able to come through. They're going to transcend onto the point, but a headshot takes down Gesture.
That's what we're talking about. Doesn't matter if you're trancing. he will still do so much damage if he's got that headshot. And Carpe now, there it is, read the like a book.
God.
Doesn't get any cleaner than that.
Pixel perfect shot right there to take down Hurag. They'd already res, so no kills coming in, or no res available now. A couple of kills come for London, though, as they continue to make progress here. And yeah, it's all well and good that you're up here making shots, but the cart will be pushing. London very objective focused.
Yep, they're staying on top of it, and that's what the name of the game is all about here. Kills are great, but you need to get that payload pushed through to the third point. 20 seconds left on the clock here for London Spitfire to make it happen. And while Philly trying to set up that hard point defense again, Poco, as soon as he gets out of the open, it's Discord Orb, and then they're just trying to nuke him. This time, however, nobody gonna go up to the self-destruct.
A really small misplay from Jester there. He dropped the supercharger before the shield, and EQO took that window to hit it with a nade, so they got zero value out of it. A self-destruct comes up over the side. Transcend will keep the Zenyatta alive, and this seems like Philly is stabilizing on the defense.
Now, finally, that kill on Jester is so important. Poco finds closure as well. Notion with that trance, trying to keep him alive, but you still have Neptuno flying high right now with the chain healing. And it's looking like it is going to be enough here to keep Philly in this fight. Poco will hang on by a thread, and Hurag, the last man to survive there, just long enough to touch the point. It is going to burn down with nobody from London Spitfire able to get there in time to keep the fight rolling. 2 points picked up for London.
Still a very strong offense, especially how bad it was looking early on in that fight for them on first point. And again, the Philly offense really struggled against the Houston defense here, unable to even grasp first point. So London, if they can put up any semblance of defense anywhere along this map, will force a map number 5 tiebreaker. It's what we all want. It's what we all deserve.
I think so. I cleaned my room this morning. I definitely deserve a treat.
You did not. You live in an Airbnb. Someone cleans your room for you.
Get out, dude. That's not, you make your bed at least. Come on. This is exactly what we were hoping for. Countdown is in, and yeah, this is the question now, because this isn't exactly the best map for Philly Fusion. So what are they going to have on the offensive side? I mean, it is going to be Carpe most likely still sticking to that Widow. Why change him at that point? The man is hitting headshots. He's taking the lead again in terms of damage and final blows.
Yeah, only a 2-4 record on this map. Meanwhile, London comes in at 5-3. So definitely the map advantage that, you know, I talked about and was totally wrong about for the first 2 maps of this series, but the maps in favor of London overall finally coming to fruition here. See what they want to run here on their defense. This is a little bit interesting for now. A lot of teams have opted for a single support, and that's exactly what will be the case. We'll see what Badoshin's Roadhog looks like as Prophet goes over to the Junkrat instead. A lot of pressure on Closer, of course, being the solo support. But you do this again, I mentioned it every time because it's so important, because that Roadhog doesn't need it. A Roadhog is going to solo play. We saw Prophet playing alone. You can have those giant impact plays. He's got his huge amount of healing. So that will afford you this luxury of adding another big body in. And it looks like Pirate Ship might be coming out.
Let's go. You want to make progress. If you can get established on the point, Boombox making the mad dash out in the open. He's getting topped up, getting healed. Fraggy's shield gets melted instantly, though, and that's going to delay things here for Philadelphia Fusion. Whole point of Pirate Ship is to get the man onto the point.
Yeah, they did not run this last time versus Houston, but Houston ran it against them to great success. So perhaps taking a page out of their rivalry's book here. They just ran Junk Roadhog, no Bastion, the last time they played Junkertown. And that's a huge kill. Carpe pays his life for it, though.
Oh, what a scatter shot that missed! Get out of here, EQ. I heard those were supposed to be easy to hit.
Game must be broken. Oh, Greg.
Greg is just, he's got a magnet on his head right now.
A really nice kill, though. They were able to take down Boombox, and I believe Resurrection had already been used, so there's not going to have the Bastion there, and it's going to be so difficult to reset up on this point to get the Bastion back over here. Is Boombox staying on this? Yes, he is. They're going to give it one more go. I think if it fails this time around, they will switch up the composition.
It's so hard to get reestablished again on that point once those shields start getting up there. EQO is going to do the best that he can, but EQO, there's not a whole lot he can do from the grave. He's gone. Prophet chucking the tire in there, and he'll find the monster target. Neptuno gone, and the DMEC on Poco, who I think actually just threw himself off the cliff immediately. That was actually pretty handy there for Poco.
Yeah, probably. He was right near the edge, so there's no reason to try to go back to spawn. And also, if you go back to spawn and switch heroes, you will lose all of your ultimate charge. At 40%, it's nothing to sneeze at, so he is going to take the clip off the edge. 2.5 minutes here to go. Boombox still trying to establish himself on the Bastion.
I mean, they're sticking to their guns, it seems. Carpe's got the wall hacks now, but so does Hurek, so they'll cancel each other out. Gonna turn into that jiggle peak shoulder dance at the wall corners.
They almost get established here already. A Valkyrie is popped early on from Neptuno to give everyone the healers so they can establish. There's no shield on Boombox. He's got to back out, and in just the last second, he gets his diva in front of him. A hook comes in. The healing is too much to burn through.
He can't actually get back into position. Finally, it looks like he'll be able to establish himself, but no, he has to back off, and now the tire coming through from Prophet once again, hunting down Neptuno, gonna find them both! Carpe and Neptuno dead, and this is not working at all here for Philadelphia Fusion.
A huge tire there. I cannot believe they're still trying to run this Bastion. They have tank mode, but in my opinion, it's not the greatest ultimate for Bastion. Sometimes it's even a liability. You're more vulnerable. Your rate of fire is too low. You can be picked off a lot easier when you're trying to dance around, but they're gonna try to stick with this at least one more time. Same composition comes out. They're gonna try to set up a little over a minute somewhere.
Not a whole lot of time. And well, there we go. Self-destruct right into the thick of things. This is unbelievable. The triple kill now for Woohyall. Oh, and even trying to deny Fraggy the leap. That's, you know, salt in the wound.
They did get him. A nice whole hug there at the end just for celebration mode. Poco, it might be time to play another game for a second here and go to map number 5. It does not look good. Philly continues to struggle on Junkertown here, unable to reestablish, unable to change. Both sniper ultimates available. They have no CC though, so it's gonna be hard to get a Dragon Strike.
Yeah, that's the big thing. He's trying to figure it out.
They can clear the points so you can establish.
Oh, Carpe is dead. That's not a good start. Neptuno's got the wings out here. EQO still hunting. Not quite gonna find that shot. Looking for it. And well, now you need to grab him. You need to group him up. You need to try and find some kind of value here as the tank is gonna force him to get a little bit more clumped up behind these shields. Does EQO find the opportunity here to get a Dragon out?
Looking for long-range artillery. Boombox did pop that ultimate, but this positioning now is good. They kind of reestablish on the card. They've got the shield in front. The halt does not do enough as Benosian falls. Boombox gets low, but self-healing is Bastion's forte nowadays.
He can keep himself alive. Closer, not gonna be able to get it. Are you kidding? Is this how it's gonna go, London? You nearly full hold him and then you stumble at the end? There's still a chance. Prophet refuses to say die. He's got the tire going in as well, and yet again finds value for it, but he will get caught by Carpe.
He just barely lived through it, but Woohyall comes in at the last second. Neptuno and Boombox off of the cart in the last second, switch to Tracer to try to get in. Fraggy gonna get blown away off the edge.
Ejected, get out. Ocean having none of it, and there's the hook. Not gonna help him though.
He sends Winston back to the moon, and London Spitfire take map 4, 2-2 in this series. We are going to Oasis.
Dominant 2-2s. I mean, dominant performance here from London. 2-0, 2-0. Reverse sweep, always a possibility, especially when you're talking about players this good. And Philadelphia Fusion right now, they're gonna have to dig deep and figure out what they need to do here on Oasis, which is gonna come up next to settle this match. So happy that it has gone the distance. Hex, this is exactly what we were hoping for here from both of these monstrous teams.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
is a full hold defense for the London Spitfire.
Philadelphia Fusion will be on the attack.
Profit in the back line.
Urag decides to take matters into his own hands. As soon as Carpe gets these picks, Philadelphia just jumps right onto those bodies. We told you this match was going to be epic, and so far it has lived up to the hype.
You're absolutely right, Puckett. We told you this match was going to be epic, Hex. It is living up to the hype. We've got a Game 5 coming up.
Yeah, Crumbs called it. I don't know if Brent's ever been right, but Crumbs said we're probably going to a map number 5.
But what else did he say there? Do you agree with the follow-up analysis from Crumbs?
Is that Philly was going to win?
That Philly, you know, one of these teams pretty not good on Oasis, looking a little grim.
You know, this is weird. The Snillo's coming in for EQO, and that we saw one of the DPS for the Philly lineup get swapped out, and so when we see it on the server, we start guessing. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're going to bring in Shadowburn. I mean, he's got one of the best FARs in the game. He made his name in TF2 as one of the best projectile players. Some of the best frag videos I've ever seen in my life is Shadowburn on what was Soldier in that game, but rockets in the air, just kind of the same kind of thing. Hits big old middies in the air. I mean, he's also crushed in the Overwatch League on Pharah, so it's a little bit interesting. Maybe they're going to have a little different strategy. Oasis has been dominated by some of the Pharah play, especially when you get to Gardens.
Well, you can also have this strategy where you're just like, okay, they're playing Pharah, we'll just ignore that and focus on everything else. We'll wreck the ground game.
Yeah, it is a possibility to just say, now we're going to take a 6v4, and if that Pharah does not crush us immediately, then we'll deal with that later.
I mean, I am saying that because New York, you know, but then they have Jonax, so they have like an unfair advantage because he just volleys her out of the air every time. Yeah. So you can't really base a strategy on that unless you're New York, but okay, fair enough.
Jonax's nickname should just be unfair advantage. I mean, overall, what he brings to the team is absolutely insane. We are going to Oasis in the title map here. Between these two teams, London and Philly, it's becoming one heck of a rivalry. And man, I just can't wait to see it. It's a little bit interesting, Snillo coming in, but it makes me believe that they want to run a double hit scan. There it is, Tracer, McCree, Carpe on the McCree, Snillo on the Tracer here. On the other side of things, the London Spitfire, these are not necessarily where they're going to roll out, but they've got Hureg on a Sombra at the moment, Fedoshin on a Moira. I think some of these will switch. A Moira, you generally want more tanks and more healing here, but hey, I'm willing to see anything from the London Spitfire. We are kicking off on Gardens.
Is it the verticality of it? I mean, there are quite a few hallways. Orbs can be good, but
I mean, we saw Sombra on this map recently. I don't necessarily love it because I just don't think the fights take place around your pack to get enough value out of it. But we'll see how these teams want to roll out here, and that will be the compositions here. Moira Lucio with a Sombra Tracer for London Spitfire. A little more standard for Philadelphia as they're running a Mercy Zen and McCree Tracer here.
Yeah, Carpe clearly thinking, okay, if they run the fair, we'll be ready for it. Well, never mind. Just get in there and do the deeps. Boombox, he's still kept alive, though. Doshin, you're not going to kill him if he's got a Pocket Mercy. But they are still going to be able to get the hack, and Hureg will find the kill. Neptuno out of the fight.
I love it. I love it. That's exactly how I play Moira. You just walk right in there. Guys, I have this fade. Get in there and crush. And they will get these opening kills, though. There are still enough people alive for Philly to be able to contest this. The pack hacks are coming through. Map control being important here. Now the point just now opens up, so that first fight team is all for naught as everyone's respawned. They're getting back into this mix. Carpe's on a Soldier 76 now.
They weren't able to close it. That's the thing. I mean, he is on the server right now, but didn't quite live up to the name.
And now they have to back off. Hureg is down, trying to get these packs early on. Hureg will pay his life for it, as Snilla will find him. Gotta be careful here. Nice splash damage, but Prophet will get out alive. Time to reset. Hureg at 73, maybe give this one more life. We'll see if this is just their strategy. They're gonna commit to it.
Prophet with the pulse, that's something to work with here. You've got Snilla, he's got a pulse too. There you go, right into the thick of things. Finds that low HP target, closers out, gesture as well. Snillo right now just making a hash of them. Triple kill for Snillo. And the D-Mech as well.
They might just leave Wuyal. Yeah, they're absolutely going to leave Wuyal. They want him to either jump off an edge or go back in there and forego all of his ult percentage. Yep, has to go it back to 0 on that Diva ult here. 90% Hureg on his ultimate. And that's such a great corner spot because you know running a Moira and a Lucio, they're all coming in together. They're all going to be clumped up. So if you stick anyone, someone's going to die from it because they're all just too close.
Yeah, right on top of each other there. Carpe working on it. Oh, point blank Helix onto Hureg. No joy there for Hureg. He's sent back to spawn, 99% on his ult. He'll have the EMP for the next fight. We'll see if that makes a difference, though, as Gesture takes a bunch of bullets and some rockets to the face.
Yeah, this fight is essentially over, and London needs to reset and get back to spawn. If you're banking on your EMP to get through there so you can actually start a fight and you die right away, that one's over. They almost get Hureg again near their spawn camping. London has banked up ultimates, and the time is now. Use them if you got them, because they have one fight to win, 85% for Philadelphia.
You gotta come in through here, Fierce. Closer wishing that he had that sound barrier to lead the way. Instead, it's gonna be the Badoshan with the Lighthouse, perhaps. And they still have everything else to work with as well. London Spitfire, this is going to be the big battle as they go and lead the way with the EMP, hoping to catch those targets. Fraggy gets obliterated immediately. Boombox a little bit slow on the trigger, perhaps getting that trance into it, but Neptuno, thanks to that trance, will get the res, and there's the sound barrier coming in from Closer.
Yeah, Trent's right into the point. It was a great spread out there. Philly knew that there was no way EMP wasn't ready, so they had spread everyone out, backed all away, and Trent did go through, but now the DPS come alive for London in a desperation time. Tactical Visor looking to close this out.
Dude, Snilla right now, he is on a tear. This is crazy. Bunch of low HP targets, and Carpe not, oh, never mind the fadeaway Helix. He gets the kill on Wuhyal in the end. There we go, Carpe, man, just leading the way.
It's one of the next steps to be a next level soldier. It's not just your tracking, it's not just your aim positioning, it is getting closing burst damage with those Helix rockets. You saw Carpe hit him again and again. A nice switch there, a little unexpected. You don't always see soldier, well, I mean, really any maps anymore, but right there especially. And an interesting strategy from London does not pay off. Hureg died way too early, way too often. He got sent back to spawn twice with the EMP in hand.
We're kind of seeing a repeat of what happened on Anubis, where Carpe and the other DPS, EQO in that case, but here's Snillo, both of them are just mangling the London Spitfire. Just nobody else is close on this map right now to the numbers these guys are posting.
All right, we are going to University. This is a stage where we've seen variations of the Slambulance. You get a speed boost, you get a lot of tanks, and you get all the healing in there. Philly is going to run triple tank, as is London right now. The variation being one is running a Zarya, the other a D.Va.
Yeah, the other a D.Va. They got the McCree as well here.
Oh, sorry, the other a Roadhog, both have D.Vas.
It's going to be Snillo and Hureg who will be the difference makers here. If Snillo is feeling it on the Tracer, he's already halfway up to a pulse bomb. Get that man in there because, hey, Slambulance, your guys are usually pretty grouped up. It's going to be the same result if he chucks a grenade in there.
Look at these Moira ults. Already 70% plus on both sides.
Oh, that's a problem.
Max range hook, but she fades out.
But Gesture got booped into the abyss. He's not in this fight anymore. Without that shield, London Spitfire, they can't take the fight.
I'll have to back up. Prophet's done a great job of building up. Now we have dueling coalescences on the point. Another hook.
That's a big one. We all able to dash back to safety. That time Gesture died flat out. And this is now where Fraggy, he's just going in. He is one of the most aggressive Ryans and living up to it right now. Just pasting him with the hammer left and right.
Fraggy pushing them all the way back. What is a shield? I do not know. They're going to have to back out here. Fraggy nearing Earthshatter. Gesture a while away because he did get pushed out of that last fight. Now the micro battle now is between Prophets and Poco.
Snillo's going for that again. He's looking for it. And he is going to get killed immediately by Hureg, so not too much there. The sound barrier did go down, and in the meantime, they will go boom woo, y'all. There's the combo. The DMAC on Poco, Carpe gone, and this is going to be setting it up here nicely for London Spitfire with those last 2 kills to flip the point at 50%.
Yeah, you live by the Fraggy, you die by the Fraggy. He did not really get what he was looking for from that Shatter, and then a nice combination with the Graviton into self-destruct, the bigger bomb, as we call it, bigger bang, rather. Boombox and Badoshan, both with Coalescence up again. It charges so fast, they're looking to initiate, but they got to be careful of Shatter.
You can see the mind games coming out here. Gesture wants Fraggy to drop that shield. He wants to go for the Earth.
They're called Rhine games, excuse me.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, when you could just go ahead and fire strike like a Hureg tire, that's fair as well, Fraggy. Okay, then. All right, they're getting in here, and now it's going to turn into Fraggy just taking swings, and there it is with the bubble barrier. Gesture looking to get in here behind this shield, deep into enemy lines. His shield is melting, though. He's got to be careful, but hey, that opens it up for Prophet and Wuhyal to get in here and find kills.
It's another fire strike, and it's not just the Earthshatter, it's the threat of the Earthshatter. Philly trying to play around this as much as possible, and now they've banked up another Graviton, has London, while they take the percentage lead here on University of Oasis. They have their choice. The worst thing for them to happen is to use them both at the same time. They're both potentially fight-winning ultimates. Grab out.
Now Grab is out. They're getting melted again with the self-destruct right into it. Carpe, Fraggy, everybody gone. Reset hard.
And something similar was how the universe was created. Yeah, the grab and the huge explosion. They've set it up twice just perfectly, and they still have to play around Gesture here, who's got Earth Shatter, and they know it.
It's just this constant threat. You got the grabs, those are the game enders, but then the shatters as well. And now Philadelphia, they're just changing up the angle of attack, it looks like. Get in on the left side now, take that peek, take that poke. They're gonna have the coalescence, and there we go. Gesture finally decides to throw the shatter out. Fraggy had the shield up. He's got a shatter of his own as well, and Ureg will eliminate Fraggy. They're trading rhymes now between both of these teams. Oh my God, Poco! It's been a while since we've seen a Poco self-destruct that delivers on that level.
Oh, Nerf Poco indeed right there. Comes over the top. He doesn't need CC to hold people in place. He's got the perfect execution. Gesture tried the move as Orion where you turn your back to the other team and you think if they drop their shield and then you do this 180 and you go for this slam. It's cute when it works. When it doesn't, you get absolutely nothing out of it. And now the advantage in Philadelphia as Carpe has a graviton of his own.
Exactly, we've got the Fraggy Earth Shatter as well, so let's see. How are they gonna get this all set up? Carpe chucks the grab in, he's getting the value out of it as well. Gesture pulled right back into it, and well, Fraggy point blank, Earth Shatter, straight into Gesture's shield, gets nothing for it. Prophet hangs on by a thread, but Stillo is there to find the pulse onto Gesture, and two of the tanks, at least, for London Spitfire are dead.
Can London get back here is the question. Philly just burned everything. They burned grab, shatter, and barrier, and not the decisive fight they needed. They need a body on this point. Prophet so close, no, 92% burned down!
Burned down, it is Carpe doing the deeps now. This is Carpe's world. 50 and counting. He's charging it up again with the key. Boom, Neptuno right now is delivering for Philly, and we're into overtime. Philadelphia Fusion on the brink once again of wiping the floor with London Spitfire, and it's looking good. Woo Hyul gets caught in the corner, nowhere to go. Moira getting low as well. Doshin has to dash back, but he's now the only one here, and it will be Philadelphia Fusion crushing the London Spitfire 3-1. Well, no, 3-2.
London was not afraid of Neptuno, but Gesture should be having nightmares about him. Oh, you don't think I'm impactful? Down to the hole with you! Out of the fight a couple different times. That's such a huge deal to knock the opposing Ryan into the other side of things. And even though they threw every ult at him, the penultimate fight, they find the one small ability they need to get the shield out of the fight. Absolutely clean up. Philly seems to have London's number. I want to watch these guys play for perpetuity till the end of time.
Yeah, it's always exciting between these two, but now that's Philly pulling ahead in this rivalry between the two teams. London Spitfire once again defeated, and they're going to have to, I mean, last time that this happened, those guys took it hard. It took them a while to get back into it. I think we saw the echoes of that loss when they faced up against New York Excel. They didn't have that confidence. Losing now to Philly, again, that's certainly not going to help things here for the London Spitfire. But now we're going to go ahead and hand it over to Zoe, who's on the floor with an interview.
Thank you so much, Hex and Seymour. I have Fraggy from the Philadelphia Fusion joining me. Please give it up. All right, take a few breaths. Get ready for that interview. You with me? All right, good, good. Now let's talk about the game we just saw. The first two times you went up against the London Spitfire, therefore owed you. Then you denied them the finals for stage 2, won that one, and played it out against NYXL in the finals. Now today, once again, you made it look almost one-sided. Why do you think lately you've been matching up so well against their team?
I think they are like, we are playing really good this stage. I think they might be struggling a bit in the beginning of stage 3. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
All right, well, straightforward, why not? Now, your team has an incredible high win rate when it comes to game number 5. How do you always manage to clutch it out on control maps? What gives you the edge there?
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe we have just a lot of clutch players. We keep calm, keep the communication going on, keep the alt calls, and we could just clutch it out.
Just clutch it out. Whatever you do is working just fine for you. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you rest and celebrate with your team. We're now heading over to the desk with Pocket and the guys to break down the action.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Give it up for Fraggy and the Philadelphia Fusion. They walk away with their 10th Game 5 victory in the regular season. That's not going to help their overall map count when you look at the league standings, but it's another big matchup. And let's talk about how we got here, because it wasn't easy for the Philadelphia Fusion in the second half. Brent, start us off with Ilios. What did we see in this game 3?
Yeah, they had to fight tooth and nail, didn't they? Because London, they really kicked it off quite nicely. They were so close to getting that reverse sweep, and they all started it here on Ilios. And it was very nice. London opened it up with a cheeky little composition, the triple tank on Ruins. And I feel like this was mainly to mitigate Carpe's Widowmaker with high HP heroes, so you can't get one shot. They initially changed it out, so Profit changed over to the Tracer. And Hureg, I mean, we got to mention this guy, because he had a great game on Ilios in general.
Well, yeah, they subbed him in over Bird Ring, and initially it was a bit of a questionable decision because a lot of the times we'd see Hureg be subbed in, then right back out, but he stuck around all 3 rounds, and it paid off quite well. He was having a great game on the McCree. The Widowmaker, unfortunately, Carpe was just so damn good today. It's unbelievable how many shots he can keep hitting with Widow.
And Wulia, you just saw just then, this guy was one of our contenders for the MVP award because of how well he was playing on that role. The amount of bombs he was putting off, he was honestly putting Poco to shame with some of them. It was honestly crazy the amount of value he was getting out of these D.Va plays.
Well, look at the angles at which he throws it, right? It's hit a little bit of the wood right there, slowing it down, easing it into position. So he's definitely practiced just as hard as Poco has.
He got more D.Va bombs on Junkertown than I have in my entire career, and I'm a D.Va
That's
main.
true.
Well, you only use it for remake.
Of course. That's what everyone else does these days. I'm learning from the pros, Crumbs. You guys should at home as well. Let's talk Game 5, though, because when it comes to Game 5, Philly now has an 80% win rate. This is ridiculous performances under the clutch.
It was, but I think that the percentage of win rates really speaks to what happened in this map. Previously, London are 1-6 on this map, on specifically Oasis in control. And when you come down to map 5, after almost being fully swept, you can't expect them to be able to bust out another performance to take over Philadelphia when their stats are just so much against them.
Yeah, I mean, again, Fraggy, I think, summarized it nicely in his interview, but it just seems like that Philadelphia are such a clutch team. They got such great players in the form of Carpe. I mean, how many times have we seen Carpe salvage around with a sick pulse bomb? I mean, we didn't see it too much this game, but we definitely saw the headshots. We definitely saw his Widowmaker. And I mean, we were having a little argument as this game was going on about who could realistically you put in your best fantasy team, and Carpe was one of those names that always came up time and time again.
He's my league MVP early on. Keep those hashtags coming, guys. OWL MVP with the player battle tag you think that deserves our award at the end of the season.
Nice little move, though, in that map that we saw Neptuno haven't done before against Houston. Booping into the well, boop the Reinhardt, forcing him to walk back, especially on those immobile heroes. It's a nightmare getting into. You might as well be dead. It's just even more embarrassing.
Yeah, Raucus got hit with it in the Game 5 versus Houston Outlaws, and now you see the tank gesture sent to the bottom of the floor while the rest of the team gets murked on the point. Game 5, you like that? Game 5 goes to the Philadelphia Fusion, and so does our honor for Player of the Match, sponsored by Omen by HP. You've heard it before. Here it is again. It's Carpe, boys and girls. We had EQO in the first 4 games. Snell comes in Game 5, but Carpe was there every step of the way.
And I think this might be the team and player that consistently gets player of the game more than anybody else. Just because every single time he's either there or in contention for it. The shots at which he hits, does he need help to set him up? No, but even when he does, it looks even stronger.
He's clearly been practicing his Widow v Widow deathmatch.
Against you, right? You've been playing against Saya player too.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. If you want to meet the pros, guys, you want to jump into those Widow headshot mode custom games. That's where the crack is. But let's look at the statistics for Carpe, right? This critical hit accuracy, 20%. The number of deaths he's got as well, right? The critical hit blows, the final blows across the board. Carpe, can he be stopped? This guy's honestly a monster.
Amazing stuff. Brent knows where to find the cracks on every sidewalk here in LA. Let's take a look at the big picture. It's your Stage 3 standings now. In Philadelphia Fusion, we mentioned their map count. They're just +3 right now in Stage 3, but most importantly, they're in that 4th position. The top 4 at the end of Stage 3 will be in contention for those playoff matches.
What a shakeup. No New York, Seoul, or London in the top 4? What? It's like nothing happened.
Crazy.
It's pretty crazy stuff, guys.
The entire mix-up of Western teams that we're currently seeing just right now in Stage 3, super impressive, right? Because a lot of us were expecting just going to be Korean teams, these mainly Korean rosters, but that's not the case at all.
It's been a fun stage so far, and it's only going to get better. When we come back here, the second match here on Saturday, make some noise, because we're going to see the #1 seeded NYXL take on the Houston Outlaws when we return.